not a real human
Hello,
voice.
Samantha.
This video is created with a voice from Speechalo, and you are still.
Basically, this is a Spaces. It's a place. Thomas is a friend of mine. We are going to create a space later tonight about cyberstalking, cyberbullying, harassment. We want to create awareness about those topics. So basically, this is a spaces people join and speak about anything, and well, uh, it can be very interesting, and the recordings are being available to download later, so everything is um, stored in a good quality. I will pin something here, so you asked me if you could post images. Actually, what you can do is, let me give me a second. For example, I will go to your profile and I will do this, and I will pin it. So now on the top of the screen you can see the image of the tweet that you have in your timeline. Um, that's what you can do. And if we do it here, uh, people can come and listen, but uh, if you want, they can ask questions. If not, they do not have to interact, just listen. uh, that's it. It's very simple, but I really like it. Otherwise, we can do it using Zoom in case you want more privacy and you want to share screenshots or any other functionality. Uh, Zoom is another option. So it's up to you. And the most important thing is that it's up to you whether you feel comfortable telling your story or not. I don't want you to, if it makes you feel bad or you don't want to tell certain things because I understand that it may make you feel not too good, then I don't want to do it. I mean, I don't want to hurt you more. You are already hurt, and I understand that. So that's it. As I told you, I think your story would be very, very interesting for people. Personally would love to hear it, even if we don't record anything, just hear it from the beginning. That would be something that I would really like. Uh, I, I you can be sure that I won't be bored listening to your story. Actually, the most you can do is make me feel angry and trigger in me uh, things that make me very upset because the situation that I live, that you are living, are things that are completely unfair and shouldn't happen. And the world should know all about this. That's why I talk about my story and I tell how fucked the system is, and I I I am completely open to talking about my story, and as I told you, I feel comfortable, makes me feel good, and it's like therapy. And I get a lot of support of people like Thomas. Uh, I don't really think I know Iron Wolf, who is here. Welcome, by the way. Uh, his positivity at heart, that's good. Introverted nerd, good. Atheist, good. Infosec and Liverpool Football Club, I think it's LFC. Is that correct? LFC is Liverpool, my friend. If it is, then Suarez sends you his regards. Nice, nice. I like Liverpool. Uh, yeah, I used to like Manchester United, but uh, I actually don't like soccer anymore. I actually live in my world, and I don't watch the news. I don't read. I know nothing what's going on in the world except security and uh, yeah. I I am a pretty particular person who lives in the night and sometimes sleep, sometimes don't sleep. Hello, Josiah. Welcome. Uh, Samantha, if you feel comfortable, you can accept the invitation to speak. If you do not, I completely understand. I just wanted to show you the space and what it is because it's something not new, but not many people knows it, and it's a nice way of having a conversation. Of course, if you don't want to have it privately, because there is no privacy here. And despite we could be you and I together here, Twitter is listening to everything, and you and I are being monitored, and we are victims of espionage. In my case, I am completely aware of that. From what I saw in your tweets, you are you also know that. Uh, so we are two people that are being monitored, and it's hold on a sec. Thomas, do you want to speak? Oh, you set the alarm, Thomas. Oh no, I can't hear you because you have to accept, Samantha, an invitation. Okay. Oh, it's Thomas. A question, Samantha. Are you using your computer, by the way? Because this only works with the cellular. You have to be on Android or iOS in order to be able to speak. Otherwise, you can only be a listener. I forgot to
Yeah,
tell you.
hello.
Hello, Thomas. I'm talking to Samantha, that she's a person that's living a nightmare. It's something not similar to what I live, but it's a very hard situation regarding hacking and being threat. Uh, and well, she messaged me today. She told me she heard my story, and I and she mentioned some things about her life and what's going on, and I really understood what what I mean, what what it feels to be like in that situation. She's on an iPhone. Then Samantha, don't you see on the lower left corner of the cell, an icon of a microphone that it should say request or something like that. You have to press that in order to request to be a speaker. I have also sent you an invitation, but you probably didn't get it. There are some bugs in this platform, so try clicking on the lower left corner of the cell in the icon of the microphone. I will invite you. Okay, she did. Okay, your cellular is probably too fucked up with all the hacking that you are being victim of, and it doesn't work. Sorry, it's a joke.
Yeah, I lost connection, but not connection to the space, but to the headphones. As I said, I
Yeah.
don't know what's happening, but whenever I join a space, there is a moment when my headphones just get disconnected now,
No, no.
and I
I now I see the problem of Samantha because she sent me a screenshot. The problem is that you are using Twitter via mobile, via web. You should use the app of Twitter. You have to download it from the App Store. Using the mobile version of
yeah.
Twitter. doesn't work. That's the problem, Samantha. You have to run Twitter from the app. So Thomas, Samantha has a very interesting story that she was wondering if people would find it interesting, and I can assure that you, Thomas, if you hear to that story, you would be amazed because from what she told me and what I saw in her post, uh, she she's really living a bad situation that is not over. It's far from being over. Uh, so hold on. I have had. Did you see my new look, Thomas? I went to had my
Yeah, I
haircut.
saw it mostly.
Yeah, I was almost losing the schedule that I had with the guy who was going to do that because I was so so I hooked talking to you that time flies when you talk about things that you love. Hello, all everybody else. Dark, then uh, Josiah, nothing to see over here. Just keep moving. Just another face in the crowd, just like me. We have a fan of Liverpool here. Dark. It's not what you look at, it's what you see. That's right. That's right. It's not what you look at, it's what you see. That's interesting. Yeah. So, what's your favorite quote, Thomas? Do you have any quote that you? It's your favorite. My favorite quote is, Face your fears, live your dreams." Is my favorite quote.
Yeah, I don't think I have like a favorite sentence like that. But although I have been recently focusing on like on the book that you can see in my in my profile in the back, like the front. I don't know how it's called on Twitter really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Uh, from Victor,
The quote. Yeah.
Victor Frank. Yeah, everything can be taken from a man, but that's one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's from a book written by a Holocaust survivor who was trying like to deal with that situation and the trauma related to that situation.
Yes, yes, yes. And Samantha told me that, I mean, uh, at, w- at, w- at 2 a.m. is the space for your time, Thomas.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m., but I'm not sleeping at the time usually anyway. So
You're like me. I mean, I have already told you that I didn't sleep last night. I, I mean, I don't sleep for a couple of days and then I sleep for like a whole day. That's part of the issues that I have that I haven't been able to solve yet. Uh, and I think Samantha probably has issues to sleep as well because well, I hope she can install the app and
yeah.
uh, yeah, she hates app, but okay, yeah, I also hate apps, Samantha. I also hate iPhone. I hate Android. But what the heck? I have, well, and Thomas hates cellular phones because he can't get the SMS that he needs. uh,
Hey, hello.
Hello, Samantha.
Hello.
How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. I just hate apps.
Yeah, you're saying you are good, but I know that's just a formally that you are not good.
Well, yeah, but I tell you what makes me nervous, and that's having these people here.
Yes, I completely fuck myself. I dropped my cellular for the like 10 times today, so I
I'm
am on
sorry,
like
say that again.
that. I dropped my cellular like 10 times today, and
Oh,
it's still the screen hasn't broken. So maybe next time.
mm, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. My son, mm, my son has just delivered dinner. Sorry.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So
It's
yeah,
yes, he's just cooked dinner, so that's brilliant. Because I was talking to you, he cooked dinner for me.
that's good.
Yeah, I got him well trained.
What are you going to have for dinner?
No, well, I'm eating it now. We're just having carbonara.
Oh, nice. I
So
just came from my mother's house, and we have beef with fried fried chicken, French fried. Uh, and
my
well,
connection was lost. Hang on a sec. My Wi-Fi is going berserk since I've
it,
done this.
no, your Wi-Fi is being monitored, and the
Well,
that
yes.
causes all the problem. I know because imagine the situation here in where I am. I use my cellular that is registered under my name, my SIM card that is registered under my name, and I do a test of the speed of the connection, and I get certain values and certain latency, and then I just uh, have the same cellular, I mean the same brand of cellular of another person with the same provider of mobile, the same company, and the results are that the latency of my connection is like 10 times longer than the one of the other person in the same place, same company,
Uh,
same cellular. Uh, that's only have one explanation. That something is in the middle.
yeah, I mean, I've had 6 notifications now saying looks like the connection was lost, reconnecting. So it's a similar thing, I expect. Oh, and there's another one.
Yeah,
Yeah, this happens.
that also happens to me. Uh, and actually, right now I am connecting via 4G, not Wi-Fi, because my Wi-Fi, for some reason, is behaving really strange. It isn't supposed to be that like that because I have a very good router, uh, but
Doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, as I told you, it's like a car crash you can see, but you just can avoid. You just see it, and you cannot do anything. I mean, because what they are doing with me is without a court order. There is no judge order in order to do what I am being victim of. I mean, there's no authorization for the monitoring, and so there's nothing I can do. I mean, I can get, uh, I don't know, somebody, an expert in forensics, and prove that I am being monitored, but they wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, they do whatever they
No.
want, and they, they will keep doing it.
Well, at least I have that benefit that the laws in the United Kingdom are somewhat more established. Well, you don't have any, I don't think, do you? So, but and I know that the 3 main laws of under the Computer Misuse Act in the UK are all being broken currently. So,
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, the thing is that there is so much power, and there is so little that we normal average people can do, that uh, what are the ways, what are the solutions? There is no solution because we are just slaves. W- uh, I refuse to accept my situation I refuse to accept all the things that happened to me and to just to let go. I mean, I feel like
Yes,
I have
I
to fight.
agree.
I feel I have to keep pushing and pressing and make them feel uncomfortable because that's what I'm doing. That's why I am still being monitored because I make them feel very uncomfortable. It's they are not used to deal with cases like when the other person uh, fights against the resolutions they make. They are used to just make sentences and close, and nobody complains. I mean, but in my case, I refuse to give up something that is completely unfair and that I am aware of. I mean, I know about the subject, I know about the topic, I know about how things should have been done. I can read the evidence, I can read the file, and I can perfectly say that that is not a case. That was just a show for the media, and they just wanted to have somebody captured to brag that, oh, we have the great police here in Uruguay. We could capture this cyber terrorist who was uh, guilty of every possible computer crime in the world. And then they put me behind cells, uh, behind bars, sorry, and people forgot about it. Here in Uruguay. Everybody knows my story, but no journalist, no media would ever won't cover it. They don't want to fuck with the government. Uh, they only released the information that was released by the police, with it all lies, misinformation, lack of information that is important, and that's it. They forgot, and they all know my case. All the most important journalists here I have talked to, and they nobody wants to engage. On the other hand, in the rest of the world, everybody that I tell my story wants to cover it. I mean, I was able to reach a lot of people in different ways. People are very interested in my case. They really. I mean, you were asking me if people would be interested in hearing your story.
Because
I
my experience is very different to yours, though. Because the minute I try to, people just shut. It's like people just shut down. I don't know whether it's because I'm talking to the wrong people. I have a lot of trouble still communicating with people, as in not physically, but with my phone. So, for example, um, my phone, quite often just you can't actually get hold of me. So I had a situation recently where my boyfriend, well, he's my ex-boyfriend now, but we had a fight. I hadn't spoken to him for about a week, and he called me on my mum's landline complaining that he couldn't get hold of me on my mobile. And I said, well, I don't know why. And anyway, I went to his house and I sat in the same room with him, and he rings my phone, my iPhone, and it rings completely normally from his end, but my phone does nothing. Yet a few days after that, it's all back to normal. And that kind of thing happens a lot. So I have a lot of when I make contact with people, they can't communicate with me from that first phone call. Quite often that it all goes out the window. So I hear that a lot. I've got it, a lot of it, and that's why the police have had to listen, because I have a lot of things like that in writing from people. People have written to me saying, we've tried to contact you, but your phones aren't working. And I'm like, well, I don't know what.
haven't you tried, because I have a friend who have done that, to get a clean mobile, a clean
Yeah,
device,
no, all of
and a
them.
chip not associated to anybody, and use that
No, sorry.
a
No,
SIM
I haven't
card.
done this. I've had different phones. It doesn't, and I have a new. That's why it's like a Pegasus style infection, because it just migrates the data through some kind of like a Bluetooth low energy server that is set up in my home somehow, which is running on in the cloud or VM, which I don't have any access to, that runs as a local host and completely fucks with the router, all our devices. What can I say? I mean, it's just hell, because you have no control. Our devices are all somehow enterprise enrolled. That includes my children, my 73-year-old mother. We've all been doxxed on the dark net. My kids have been totally abused, and they're not even 18 yet, and I have no idea what that means for their future.
Yes, I have seen the pictures, and
The
well,
pictures.
the thing is that, sorry, yes, speak, Samantha.
I did post a picture of my eldest son today.
Yeah, the thing is that in order to be target to such complicated, I mean, not everybody has access to the technology to do what they're doing with you. I mean, you have to be a very a person that is very interesting for somebody in order
Wow.
somebody powerful. So
I
the
think
back,
that's a misconception nowadays, though. I think because everybody thinks that's the message that's always communicated by experts, is that unless you're, somebody of interest, a person of interest, famous, rich, whatever, then there is no way that you'd be affected by something of this level. And that's been one of my biggest problems to overcome throughout this entire situation, because I am a nobody.
and what I mean, cost benefit, what do you think are the benefits of somebody doing that to you?
I think that they use our network. I don't. Do you know what? I think this is much bigger than me now. I think that it started off as an experiment with me, and I think, like I said to you, I think there's some very novel and unique methods in use that connects a massive mesh network using Bluetooth, and radio, literally normal radio stations that is spying on half the world. And I think it's regular people that are affected, because the message is constantly communicated that it won't be you, because you're just a normal person. You don't have anything special about you. And I think whoever's doing this is working that everything that is expected behavior is doing the opposite. Does that make any kind of sense?
Yes, absolutely. And
Because no one's looking there, because everyone is, and the benefit is that they're taking over. I mean, we've seen examples of it recently with APT31 being called out for running mesh networks in home routers. The DNS stuff, it's just maybe it's a secure network as a service as opposed to ransomware as a service. It's something like that, because I can attribute many different campaigns over the years of different bits of being part of different threat reports that have come out. There's so much my
yes,
mind
and
just...
what you tell me makes me more and more I'm more and more interesting about your story. I mean, haven't you thought about putting that all, write down everything and explain everything? I mean, I told you about the Digital Forensic magazine that published my article. Haven't you thought about exposing all the evidence that you have to something public? So
like I say, I've tried to get into contact people. I just can't seem to contact the right people. So I mean, for example, I've recently, I don't know whether you've heard of Eclipsium, which are an American company, and they are all about the firmware, from the firmware layer, and it's brilliant what they've done. And I've been talking to the cyber strategist called I can't think of his name now, but he's got some seriously good credentials in the cyber security world. He's worked for a lot of the big named companies, and I think he was in the Navy or did something with some 3-letter agencies originally. But so yesterday I found that he had asked to connect with me on LinkedIn. He follows me and I follow him on Twitter. But I had noticed that suddenly, all of a sudden, when I started to talk about some firmware, I didn't get any responses from him. I know he was at Black Hat and DEF CON in the last 2 weeks, so wasn't too sure. I thought he's probably busy or whatever. But then I discovered, as I say, he connected with me on LinkedIn, which is something I don't use. And when I tried to respond, my device just completely fucks up. There's some pictures actually of it on my Twitter feed from yesterday, and you can see where it completely wiped my entire LinkedIn account. And I posted a picture of it publicly in the end and scrubbed out our conversation. But that's what I'm saying. It makes life very difficult for me to communicate with anybody that's perhaps a threat. And I had recently found some firmware issue. I mean, it's hard to firmware is incredibly complicated, as I'm sure you know, and I'm no expert when it comes to code or any such things, but I have definitely identified some issues because my verification, when I updated my iPhone to 14.7.1, it failed initially, and I found a log file in my device which was about 1,400 pages long, but it was very telling. And I tried to have this conversation with him, and that's when my conversation just seemed to get cut.
Oh, I couldn't hear anything of what you said. I don't know what you said. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let's take it with humor. Sorry, you
right.
You gave me the opportunity to say that. I couldn't help it. Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry. I wasn't. I just not. I mean, it's good that we've done it like this because I'm totally not prepared. But that's probably the best way. So I'm sorry if I.
They didn't know you were going to install the app of Twitter.
No, but by and large, because I know we see all the time. I know my device. You see, if you use Chrome, I'm sure you're more than aware that if you go into Chrome // flags and all the different options that you can see. We established a long time ago that our devices are enterprise enrolled, which of course allows carte blanche, doesn't it, to control.
Yes.
Got another one.
Yes.
Sorry, I saw these people sort of coming and going. I find it's like it's bizarre, isn't it? Really?
No, it's like living now. Yeah, you get used to that after spending like how long, Thomas? The first time I started using this, I look at the information on my iPhone on the usage, and it said 23 hours of the last day were spent on Twitter, and I thought to myself, okay, I have a problem. I have to spend one more hour to.
No, I know. And to be honest with you, I'm so used to. I've become not complacent, but I am so aware that nothing is private anymore and hasn't been for a long time.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
Thomas, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems these days is that that people somehow think that they're anonymous on the internet, and they like post stuff and comments they wouldn't post otherwise, and you can find. And the irony is that you can find more information about people than like while meeting them in person.
Yes, no, I totally get that, and of course, other people don't. But I suppose what's bizarre about this is you can see people literally stepping in. Hi, Alter. Hi, Robert. Hi, Dark. Hi, Jonathan. It's just that
Yes,
it's a
and
different,
sometimes, yeah, go ahead, Samantha. Sorry.
yeah, so no, it's fine. It's just a different, it just throws a different light on things. When I say I'm used to not having any privacy, it's just I'm blind. It's blind, I can't see it. Whereas here, it's slightly different because you
Yeah,
can see these
and
people here.
this
Yeah.
gets sometimes very
Oh, bye
exciting
bye.
when
Sorry.
when you get like 20, 30 people in the room that you don't know, that are listening to your story, listening to what you're saying, and they don't participate in the conversation, but most of them probably following me or Thomas, because that's a way of discovering the rooms. The only yesterday or on Monday, uh, Twitter released a new version of the Twitter app. So in iPhone, you can now search for rooms, spaces that are open. Before that, you could only see the spaces of people you were following. So that made you only see a very few rooms open. But this can gets very interesting when people enter, and I host many rooms about security in Spanish, in English, and we had like 60 people at one time in the space, and well, the interaction was awesome. Up to 10 people can be speakers at the same time, and
Right.
there is no limit for people to be in the space. And when it gets interactive with people with different backgrounds, I mean, the other day we were talking about cybersecurity and child pornography, and I was saying, "Oh, I wish I had a psychologist here." And somebody raised a hand, and she said, "I'm a psychologist." And wow,
Really?
great!
Oh wow.
So people with different backgrounds are listening. You don't know who Dark is, who Jonathan is. You don't know who Robert is. He's a software engineer apparently, and knows our workplace, but you don't know them. And I don't know, maybe somebody from Interpol Uruguay is here, maybe somebody from Pegasus is here, maybe somebody, I don't know, maybe somebody who can actually help you is here and can hear your story and can actually say, wow, I met the person that I mean, because as you said, you haven't been able to reach the right person in order to try to explain what's going on, and that person being able not only to understand but to take actions in order to try
Well,
to.
that's the first battle, isn't it? Because the majority of people don't understand what a bloody IP address is, let alone when you start telling, if you tell, I've got our neighbour here, try to tell the neighbour how insecure Bluetooth is, for example, and he just won't have it. He just thinks I'm talking absolute crap.
Yeah, imagine, Samantha, that my case, the Interpol said a coin that was a symbolic coin of bitcoins, and they thought that was a bitcoin. The coin that was something that was something that was just a coin saying bitcoin in plastic. And they thought, they took pictures and they say, okay,
Oh my
we
God.
captured the bitcoins. And I was like, oh my fucking God, these people can be so stupid.
Oh,
They
dear.
were like, yeah, he had
That's
bitcoins
funny.
in his house. Fuck.
That's really funny.
Yeah, so I understand when you say that people don't fucking understand what an IP is, because I had to deal with these people that I was answering all the questions with the truth, and they were shelling at me, telling me, stop lying to us. And I was like saying the truth, but they were unable to understand because they lack of the competence. They are not educated. They are just, as I told you, they are monkeys with a badge and a gun, and they are only prepared to solve cases using threats, their power, because everybody is powerful in their position. When they have somebody vulnerable, handcuffed, and they use that to solve cases. They are not based on research technical issues. They cannot cope with that. They don't understand. It's
Oh, my word.
Chinese.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no.
I'm just distracted because the pictures
Yeah.
are changing again. Yes.
So
Yeah.
Schultz, I would like to say hi to Schultz. She's a friend also.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry about her. So I
No, it's
completely
fine. It was
understand this.
Richard came in and left very quickly.
Yeah, get used to that
And he
because
was
people come and go.
AI.
People come and go. That's
Yeah.
common, but
Oh.
people can also get hooked with your story.
Somebody
And
retweeted something. What was that? Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm
don't be sorry. Don't apologize.
God, this bloody
Yes.
hell. Oh, browse
So
Twitter while you listen. Oh my word.
you have to focus, Samantha. Focus.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't apologize.
Just get used to it. That's all, because I haven't come across this before. So
No,
I
don't
think
worry because
I think there's a similar thing, isn't there?
no, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you, Samantha. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I also pinned a tweet about pinning tweets. Like I realized that I have this tutorial on how to pin tweets to the space.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. I was just joking.
Oh, God! Stop joking about that.
Oh, come on, Samantha.
I don't have a. No, I know, but I actually, I didn't realize you're joking. So,
don't believe. Don't you tell me you believe in conspiracies and all that shit. You're not, who would care to spy on you?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. In fact, I spend my time completely moving away from anything like that, because obviously I don't want to come across like that. That's the worst thing I think I could do.
Yeah, I think that the best thing you can do is to look out for people and knock every door that you can, and eventually one door will open and you will meet the person that will understand and will help you. But I also understand.
That was Scott. That he definitely got it, because he told me about a security researcher whose name escapes me off the top of my head. I'll have to browse Twitter in a minute. And he sent me an article, and I totally believe that that's the biggest problem we've had, and that it is all in the firmware, because that is such a massive attack vector these days, and the reinfection possibilities that occur as a result of your firmware being compromised. There are certainly no general places you can upload documents or whatever. It doesn't scan your firmware, does it? So I think that is, as a cybersecurity issue, is the biggest challenge that we face now, because I think they are in lots of bad actors that are in the firmware space now, and it's a massive problem because nobody is recognizing it by and large.
Yes, and in my case, being able to find people that understands me and understand technology, and that I can speak and I can feel, oh yeah, they know what I'm talking about, is a relief. But even with that, that's not a solution to my problem, because I can present everything to the justice and they don't give a fuck, even though you show them everything, I mean, signed by the most recognized person in the world. They say no, guilty. Because why? Why? Because I want. Because I have the power to do that, and that's it. I mean, that's the most frustrating part of all of this, is that even though you can prove everything, it doesn't matter. it doesn't matter for justice. In
But can I say just quickly, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but the thing with firmware, I think because it's unrecognized currently, it in many sort of, these security vendors don't scan your firmware, do they? So if someone can actually scan your firmware and say, right, well, you've got this problem, and fix it, basically, then that is a positive action. And whilst it doesn't, I understand, especially from your perspective, because there are no laws that govern this in your country, that doesn't help you from that perspective, but it does relieve you perhaps of the constant monitoring.
Yes, you made a point there. Yes, absolutely. So
Which is positive.
yes. But going back to Scott, what's his name?
Scott Scheiferman. Hang on, let me find him. He's on Twitter as trans. Oh, hang on a minute. More choice. Sorry.
Yeah, I won't follow him because I don't want to be part of your network of botnets of ransomware. So I won't follow him. Actually, talking to you, I am having another problem because I am a target also now.
Well, I think you were. Oh, okay. So what?
No, I can deal with that. I mean, things can always get worse. I can live with that. So no problem.
Sorry, I just said allow Twitter to track your activities across other companies. Oh God, here we go.
We are all, I mean, Samantha, as you said, there is no privacy. This is like we are talking here, and who knows who is grabbing the audio, who is analyzing the audio, who is taking the parts of our voices, and who is creating who knows what with artificial intelligence, with all that we are saying here, and taking every detail. I mean, the behavior of everybody, the connections. I mean, somebody probably had the information that Schultz showing this space at a certain time, and she was a listener, and she heard what you said, and that means I don't know what, and somebody's analyzing all that. I have no doubts about that. I mean, after seeing Cambridge Analytica, I can believe anything. I mean, after Cambridge Analytica, I know that everything is possible.
Well, that's what I call it, but I call it China Analytica. So it's like Cambridge Analytica the second, just much worse. The guy, he was actually a security researcher. Just looking in my conversation with Scott, I can't say it's Schefferman, some Scott Schefferman. He was on Security Weekly podcast about a month or so ago, which I listened to, and he was the first person I listened to him, and he was talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, yes, that's it, that's fucking, and I just hadn't come across anybody. But the security researcher that he told me about was called Dragos Rui IIRC is his name, and he sent me an article which I can share with you if you like.
Yes, I'm very interested on reading that.
Why am I getting all these notifications on my Twitter account? Sorry, I'm fascinated to see what's going on now as well.
Okay, you have to focus. Yesterday I had like 2 million notifications, and I survived. I survived because I was giving away my book for 3 hours. People were retweeting that, and it was like a notification every half a second, and I was too lazy to turn off the notifications.
I'm just fascinated by what because obviously this is new to me. I just seeing what's going on. So it's just, oh my word. Oh, people following me.
Yeah, they pure people. They don't know what they're entering into.
Wow. Sorry. I know. Okay. Right. So how do I send you this message? Here. No. Where are you? So here is it's a very interesting article about this security researcher guy who basically
Okay, got it.
established the firmware.
And you know what? When I was talking with the guy from the Digital Forensics magazine, and I wanted to analyze my case based on the regulations of other countries, they asked me certain questions about the regulations here, and they just couldn't believe that there were no regulations here, and
No.
he put me in contact with somebody who works in the he works for making the NIST norms. He's part of the NIST, and he is in part of forensics. And I can give you that contact from the editor of Digital Forensics magazine, and we were exchanging a lot of emails about my case. And he's a great guy, and he's really somebody who is very important, and his knowledge is something that not many people have. I mean, he writes for the NIST norms.
Right.
So I can give you that contact. That
Is he in the UK? Did you say?
No,
You
he's
said
in
it
the
was a
USA.
UK magazine.
No, I mean in the UK you have the British, the BS norms. Basically, the NIST are from the USA, if I'm not completely wrong. So I am. You can talk while I read this article of the hardware
So
vulnerability.
who's Thomas?
Thomas or
I'm still here.
Thomas? Hi. Who are you? Oh, he's gone again.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. So I was just intrigued. So you work with Alberto, do you? With this?
I just talk with Alberto. I don't work in the deployment sense.
Oh, okay. So okay. But you're just an avid follower then.
Yeah, just a friend.
Oh, I see. But you're not in the same time zone.
No.
No. Okay. Fair enough. I suppose it's easy
Can
to be
you be
friends.
more specific, Thomas? I mean, apart from answering yes or no, I know privacy is important. I know I am shy and
fine.
introvert, but no, it was a joke. It was a joke. I really respect when people don't give information out. I mean, I cannot either deny or confirm anything. It's my favorite phrase.
Sure. No, it's fine. I just, you mentioned him before we started, so I just
No,
trying
he's
to
somebody
understand the
who works.
relationship.
No, he works in the same field as I, and where I know him for a while now. He's a great guy. So it's somebody I trust. So there's nothing to worry about
I don't
him.
trust anybody, full stop. So
Well,
I'm not concerned about
I
that.
Can you trust
was-
yourself though? That's the question.
I don't trust my mother says I'm my worst enemy, and yeah, you know what? She's right.
Probably, yes. I'm probably the same, but I think I'm guilty of the same things as you, and that a miscarriage of justice is a big miscarriage of justice is occurring, and as a person, I can't just let that go. I can't just say sorry, move on. It doesn't work for me, and I think that's the same with you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, hold on. I'm reading about the article. I'm reading the article,
Sorry.
which basically it makes sense.
Read. It's fine.
No, the thing is that it's aligned with the fact that the encryption protocols that have been used for communications were. It is known that they were not strong enough as they should be, because they were forced to use them in order to be able to crack the communication. So they made on purpose weak protocols of encryption. That is something that is known, and I am reading this, and that came to my mind, so I will keep reading.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just eating my food.
Yeah, I think I can help you with co-hosting in this space. And yeah, by the way, I think you didn't showcase co-hosting.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I have sent you the invitation to co-host. Let me know if you get it.
Oh.
Yeah, and the thing is that the co-host limit is separate from the speaker limit, so you get one host, in that case Alberto, two co-hosts and 10 speakers. If you don't invite any co-hosts, then you like lose two people that you can invite.
Yep.
Wow, these listeners must be really bored now.
Well, I don't know if Thomas was in, but one of the first spaces that I hosted was I put the topic. There's only one rule: do not speak. And people were showing in, and nobody spoke because I gave no speak access to anyone, and people were like 10 minutes in silence, and they were not leaving.
That's crazy, isn't it? But it's almost like I don't know. So it's a weird new technology to get your head around, I think.
Yeah, I have approved. Sorry, another person to speak that I will give the chance, and she.
No, it's fine. I mean, they obviously don't want to speak, do they? People are. I don't know what the. I just I'm going to get my head around this. What the. I'm sure it must be interesting sometimes for people just thought because you're like eavesdropping, aren't you, in a way? So.
Yeah, hello, NGA, welcome. Great.
Hello. I think
Hi.
something is
Yeah, this is so strange because, wow, he doesn't have his microphone off. He's sending signals. I don't understand, but anyway, I will keep reading.
because I got the message that he can now speak, but I don't see him speaking.
I don't hear him, and this is not a show as I did with Samantha. I can actually I not listen to him. Maybe he's saying something secret that the Twitter doesn't want us to hear, and he's hello.
Oh, I can hear.
Yeah, I
I
can
can
hear
hear someone
you.
else now.
Well, I'm talking from Cameroon. It's a privilege to join this space. I've never been on it before, so I'm
That
glad to
makes two
have
of
this
us.
opportunity.
I've never been on here before today as well, so I'm with you.
Wow, that's really great. I'm a web and app developer, so I build apps with Flutter, then web development with JavaScript and Python. So that's a tip of what I do, and I'm also into some design, UI UX design. So
Well, I don't think you're going to get any design tips from this conversation personally, but who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, the connection is
I mean,
absolutely now.
Alberto. Well, practically speaking, you are great at designing troubles.
Troubles.
well, designing it depends now. It depends on what you are to design. Like their flyers, their logos, their business cards. They're also UI UX design. So it it depends on your audience. Also, you don't need to you need to limit the number of fonts you use. Like, you need to be able to use contrasting fonts to stick out text and all the like. Your colors too should not be too bright or too much. Also, your size and your height of text matters to make your design fit perfectly. So it also depends on your topography. That's it depends on what you're working on. So if you want to design something, you can probably get ideas from others, or you recreate some designs that are already there from practice. That will also help to boost up your skills. And you also need to pay attention to great design to see what others are doing. From there now, you can boost up yourself, or better still, you can take an online course. So it depends on what you want to do. But as a beginner, it's most advisable to get tips from others, like
But you
other designs. From there, you flow.
hello.
Yeah, you want
You
to
do
say
realize
something?
that
Yeah.
that's not what we're speaking about, though. We're not talking about the design of any such thing. We're talking about cybersecurity and being monitored and people going to prison when they shouldn't have done, and misjustice.
Although to be fair,
Oh,
it's
okay. Sorry.
interesting how
I
what's happening at the front end level.
Sorry, say that again, that last bit.
Cybersecurity wise, it's also interesting what's happening at the front end level.
True, very true. And it's something that developers of all, anything on a computer need to be taking into account these days.
I mean, it's always DNS, so attack at the DNS level, redirect all the front end traffic to another website, and then grab everything.
Yeah, but how do you put a logo on that?
Sometimes it's not even attacking. Like there was recently this story of a website that was sold, this video website that was bought like by a porn website, and suddenly all the videos on websites like Washington Post turned into porn videos.
Ah, yes. I've seen some. Yeah, I've seen something there. That, I mean, there's it's easier to say what's not possible than what. Sorry, than what is these days, isn't it? I don't think there's any. I mean, I was recently watching the lamp. Oh God, what was it called again? There's some unusual named university that I just can't remember, that do quite a lot of obscure cybersecurity research, and they recently did one with a light bulb and a laser in an office 25 meters away, and showed not a smart light bulb either, but just from the waveforms and capturing the audio, they actually captured a full conversation occurring in the room from a light bulb. It's amazing what can be done.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what Alberto is thinking now that he got silent.
Well, I think he's just reading that article I sent him, which was to do, a security researcher that got targeted, and basically, as a result, established some very insecure mechanisms from the firmware level, and how difficult it was to get people to listen because they said he was crazy, saying such things, because it was some years ago as well that he sort of ousted this, but then NIST took some notice and did something or the other. And this company Eclipsium, if you look them up, that's all they do is firmware, and they have some really amazing people leading the company, and I really have high hopes for them being very successful and changing the world. So we've lost all the original people.
Yeah, that's what happens. Can
No,
you
it's fine.
DM me
It's
that
fine.
article too?
It kind of makes me feel better in a way.
I am back. I am
Oh,
back.
you're
Yeah,
quite good
it's
at talking, aren't you?
no, I could hear everything
No, I know. You are
talking on
good.
my back. Yeah, I used
It's a
to trust
pressure
Thomas.
feeling that you
I
must
used to
speak.
trust Thomas, but I don't trust him anymore. Just kidding.
No.
No, it's scary. The article is scary. Uh,
Yeah, it's quite old as well.
2016. Yeah.
Yeah. So this happened some considerable time ago, but they did a thing at DEF CON, a presentation, BIOS Disconnect, which you must watch.
If you send me the link, I will watch it because this is very interesting.
Yes, but this is what I was saying about this is the guy obviously that I've been chatting to, and then suddenly I can't speak to him anymore. So the link, hang on a sec. Let me see if well, there's several, but the DEF CON one is, hang on, I sent it to someone else. Where is it? Oh shit! Excuse my French.
Yeah, I think I'll just drop for a moment just to finish up the dinner to eat it now before the space at 2 a.m. I'll just drop later.
Yeah, imagine that the addiction that people have, that Thomas is going to have dinner now because he will be in the space that will be at 2 a.m. his time, 9 p.m. my time. So
Yeah, it's 10:30 it's 10:30 p.m. and I'm eating dinner, so it's the time to eat it finally.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? The one that I made last week in Spanish lasted more than 3 hours, and I had to cut it because the battery, so no battery could could resist more than that, and I mean, they could go for hours and hours, and it's normal. I mean, people get hooked with certain topics, and the conversations are endless.
Oh,
Or,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'll just drop and come back later.
or no, or the conversations are fucking boring, and you just jump in and get out immediately.
Oh, my phone is just not working very well right now. It's really slow. The constant messages of looks like the connection was lost. Yet earlier, the actual clarity of the connection was brilliant, but it keeps breaking up now. If you can hear me.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
I was just trying to send you that. Oh
I see that
God.
I see that you are typing in the direct message, but
Well, I'm just trying to send you a link to a tweet, but it's not working very well. So then I was then I was just sending you the I saw the tweet from yesterday, but it won't let me send it, so I was just sending you the pictures instead, where I was of this.
okay.
Just to show you. Hang on.
This was this what you sent me. Wasn't it posted in your timeline of Twitter?
Oh yes, did you see
Yes,
it then?
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, and also the link to the below. Oh God, this shit. Sorry, carry on while I just find this.
No problem.
Oh, sorry, Thomas is gone, isn't he? So
yes, he has to. He has
well,
to.
he has to eat. I know. I kind of ate with whilst I was listening and talking. I mean, it's I'll send you it anyway. I'll send it to you later if I can't find it for you now, because I tell you, the other thing that's really bugging me at the moment is blooming these bot responses on Twitter. I don't know what the keyword selection is, but it seems like every time I put something on Twitter, I get some automated response telling me to contact someone on Instagram to help me
Oh,
recover
yeah.
my account.
If you use the keyword hack or hacking something, automatically you get a message from somebody who says, "Oh, I know this person that was able to recover my password from Instagram. Contact
Yeah.
him," or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. They're just out in force, and
It's
clearly
it's
they're just hacking the people even more.
yeah, yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. So how can I send? So if I send this to you, share tweet. Why have I only got those two people? Copy link. Sorry, it's just using the app is different, very different from.
Yeah, you have to use and
I don't know why I've got this s=21 at the end of the URL. That keeps.
okay, I got it. This is the talk at the DEFCON.
Yeah, that's definitely one you want to have a watch of at some point.
Yes,
Because it's a
40
Dell
minutes.
problem specifically, this one, and this is the mechanism that they built into their systems to so if you had a problem, it would update your firmware automatically, and they got into that and just ran
Yes,
over it. So it's totally fucked.
yes. I am watching it with closed caption.
Oh, already? Blimey, you don't waste any time, do you?
How it all started, what we call the background story.
Yeah, I don't waste my time. So I'm multitasking. Thanks to closed caption, I can read and speak. Maybe
Oh, look, we're losing them now.
yeah, I mean, thank God this is not a TV show because we would
I know,
be
we've failed.
taken off the air because the audience would not be the expected one. But this could perfectly be a reality show with the proper marketing campaign. Yeah, this could be a hit.
Probably, because it doesn't. You can put anything online these days and get an audience, it seems.
No, but these things that people do not imagine that are, I mean, 99% of the people do not imagine these kind of things can happen,
No, I
or
know.
they have no idea, they have no capability of understanding anything, so it's impossible for them to understand, even though you can show them all this information, they just are unable to process it. But these things are actually the real world. I mean, and the real world is, we know the tip of the iceberg only. What's going on, it's huge, and we have no fucking idea of what basically is going on with all these things of espionage, artificial intelligence, machine learning. All those things are really weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
There, I mean, and people aren't aware of anything of this, and and I sometimes ask myself, okay, would I be happier and not depressed if I didn't know anything? Is it better not to know
Probably.
anything and be happier? Or no, but the problem is that my answer is always no. I fucking want to know the truth. I fucking want to know what's going on. And that's a problem. Curiosity.
No, I know what you're saying, definitely.
Yeah.
But there is a silver lining to being ignorant, I think, as well. So because I have tried many times just to stop doing what I do, and that's constantly, sort of looking at the, you know, because all the time I find these abnormalities and it evolves constantly, and it's like I feel that if I don't keep up, I'll lose track and then I won't know what's going on. But my eldest son Kai, who has been, well, let's just say this, he's been doxed on, as I said, doxed on the dark web. His credentials, his biometric data, all his accounts have been completely abused. Anyone would look at some of his digital footprint and go, oh, well, he's just some, you know, he runs some global enterprise somewhere or something, you know, because the digital footprint would depict that. I found in his account all these Google VPS servers set up and stuff like third-party software like Gen2 and Jenkins instances that have been, you know, what do they call it? You know what I'm saying? What's it? Deployed, that's the word I'm looking for. I know it's not him. I mean, he's just not computer orientated whatsoever. He's recently left school and he's got an apprenticeship being a bricklayer. He loves building. He was in my stomach. He had a bloody hammer on him, I'm sure. So he's always wanted to do that, and that's what he does. And my younger one, however, is a gamer and wants to get into all this. But both, I'm so concerned about their digital footprints, because anyone would think that they had done all these, and there's actually some stuff that pertains to child pornography as well. My son's been rung up or tried to be contacted many times for some people wanting to buy drugs, all sorts of things. You know, sometimes get bowled over with calls from Russia and Moldova and all sorts of things, like all day at school and things like that. So, you know, and it just really worries me that when they're big boys, and if they were to ever get into trouble with the police, that if the police start digging around the dark web, because that's where all this stuff is, you know, that we've had tools that have scraped the dark web and generated tons of evidence of what's associated with their names. That's what the stuff that I'm talking about. But how do I know that in the future that somehow that's not going to affect something else that happens to them if they were
Well,
to get into trouble? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
what happened to you, really.
Absolutely. That's basically the topic that we're going to touch in the space later tonight. The things that you about, I mean, on the dark web, it's another story. Basically, yeah, what's on the dark web, it's been monitored, and there are good people and bad people taking a look at what's going on in there. I know people that are white hat hackers that get infiltrated into certain places in order to know what information was leaked and it's available for sale. And then what they find out, they publish that, they make it public. I mean, they find a leak in certain agency of a government of certain country, and it's for sale in the dark web. And well, they find out just going to those sites, and the problem is that once you post it on the internet, it's forever. It's like
Sure.
and
Well, this is my point, and this is what concerns me as a mother, because my kids were like babies when this started. They were 8 and 12 or whatever, or maybe do you know what? I can't even remember now exactly how old they were, but you know, they were in a school. They weren't even at home. They were in a private school. They didn't even have devices or anything at that time. So because it wasn't on the agenda, it wasn't important. So, you know, there's no way they could have done any. I know they couldn't have done anything, but of course the police as well, they always want to direct their comments about, oh, well, it might be one of your children, you know, because now we see gamers all over the world becoming increasingly skilled, trying to one up their friends or whatever in gaming, and they're becoming prolific hackers in one way or another. Some end up going down a bad path, don't they? But sorry, I've completely lost my train of thought. But not train of thought, I've gone off on a different tangent rather. My point being, when your kids are, you know that your kid's name is associated to some child pornography that exists on the dark web, the fear of what that could have from an incriminating point of view in their futures is the bit that really scares me, because in a way it would be your situation repeated, because just with slightly different dynamic, because yes, there are laws in the UK, but if there was evidence to say that linked my son to that particular whatever it is to do with child pornography on the dark web, despite the fact that it was, if that isn't documented somewhere, you know, he could end up being in more trouble or going to prison or something for something he didn't do, like you.
Yes, absolutely. And as a mother, that's something terrible that I understand, being a mother and being in that situation and being aware of that possibility is what kills you. I mean, if you weren't aware, you wouldn't worry about anything. But the problem is that you know that that can cause problems in the future, that eventually it's out of control, it's out of your hands, and what can you do? And your kids
But
are in danger, and you know it, and you cannot do anything. So that's terrible.
but this is from my perspective, like you want to shout about obviously what's happened to you. This is something that I feel is important to get out into the public domain, because there are hundreds of parents out there that just, they don't know how, they can't control their kids on a computer. The kids know more than they do in the majority of
Yes,
the time,
that's
but they
that's
also need to know what can happen and
that's
what is
one
happening.
that's one of the points that is going to be treated. I mean, the fact is that you and I were born in certain time where our parents didn't. I was playing soccer until I was 8, and I got my first Spectrum computer, and then I stopped playing with other kids. But anyway, that I'm not a representative case. But the thing is that this is the first generation where fathers have kids that are exposed on social networks, internet, and the parents are not prepared to teach or uh, know how to handle that interaction of their kids with this new world, because they didn't our parents didn't teach us anything, because the world was different. Only the next generation, I mean, the children of your children will be prepared to have parents that will be able to teach them about the risk of using the social networks, of the internet, of uh, posting certain information. I mean, parents right now, they don't have experience dealing with this, and unless they investigate, they learn, that they really care about these things, they know nothing. And as you said, your kids know more than you, and they probably know much more than I. And in a few years, they will be the people who will steal my job if I get one, because yeah, that's true.
No, it is. But I also, it's not just about that. It's just it is just about the parent. I'm sure that if most parents actually knew that their kids, if their kids were being heard, monitored in any way, or was having their personal data being exploited on the dark web, they would want to understand or learn or take some control over that situation. But I think
They have no fucking idea of what the dark web is.
exactly. And my kids are fully aware what the dark web is, but that's only mainly because of our situation. Although I was somebody that wasn't frightened of technology, and I did, I've always had a little dab hand in I do like innovation or whatever. So that's when I got into Bitcoin. I wasn't an early adopter, but I certainly wasn't a late one, because I started in Bitcoin about 214, and that was probably to my detriment ultimately. But yeah, I know that's not an early adopter, but it's compared to the rest of the world.
It's like in 2016, the last time that I bought at $600 a Bitcoin, I was not an early adopter, but it was a really good deal. The last time I bought Bitcoins, that was at $640 each one, and
£150 when I was about £100, and what, $120 when I first got involved.
And in 2016, Litecoin at $3.5 each Litecoin, and I had like 1,000 Litecoins in my wallets that were stolen by the cops. That when they had to return
they
them
didn't
to
even
me.
know what to do with it, though, did they?
No,
Because
the
they
fact
thought
is
the
that,
Bitcoin was the picture
this
on
is
the
my
wall.
this is my theory. The theory is that those Ledger wallets have a mechanism to protect themselves, and after 5 failed attempts to access with the wrong ping, they self-destroy. And I think those motherfuckers probably try 5 times, got destroyed, and they just got rid of it to avoid problems, because they don't have the intelligence to get into one of those devices with the recovery keys that they also seized. So that's why I couldn't recover them. And the thing is that the file of my case has 1,000 pages. 50 pages are printed copies of the manuals of the Ledger wallet that they stole me. I mean, 5% of the file of my case is the manual of the wallet. The wallet that, according to them, they didn't seize. They just seized the empty box. So they seized an empty box, and they spent 5% of a file with copies of a manual of a device they didn't seize. No, come on.
I hear
I'm
you.
stupid. I'm stupid, but not that stupid.
Well, you're clearly not stupid, but it's I know it does sound. I mean, I know nothing of your country, or I don't even know what to say, because I have no experience. I've learned a lot about certainly historical espionage, and I've been very surprised by the levels of these countries, and the lengths they go to. Maybe not Uruguay, but certainly the UK and the States and Russia and China and whatever, in terms of how important espionage is, and the things they do. And that's enough for me, just to it rocks my world to think that we really still operate like that in 2021. So I just cannot get my head around your situation, the fact that you don't even have the laws, that the recourse is nothing, is it, apart from, as I said, I fully get your situation and why you do what you do, because it's the only thing you can do, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, I have 2 options: do nothing, which is not an option for me, or do what I'm doing. I cannot fight the system from here, from you. I mean, I just go outside I go to the world and just talk about my case everywhere I can. Let people know everything about my case, being open, and they notice here in Uruguay that here they can do whatever they want, but they surely don't feel comfortable when they feel that they outside they are aware of things that are going on here, that they in the past or if it wasn't me, nobody would ever say anything, or cases like mine would never be known. I mean, all the abuses, the abuse of power, the incompetence, the arrogance, all the dirty things that they did that I have documented and I have exposed. And if you read my book, you will grab your head and you will say, this is fucking impossible. This is something that couldn't have happened. And yes, it did happen. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
there.
what I mean. I struggle with it already. I will read your book definitely, but because as I say, I'm blown away by the fact that there is no, I just don't know how you do cope with that, because I have enough trouble coping with my own situation and the frustration and just being held under duress. I feel like you personally, for me, I feel like I've been tortured in some ways, but I know I haven't physically, but it has felt like torture at times, because I've totally isolated myself from the world, from people, from many things, and people don't understand that. They don't understand what or how that can happen. So that my frustration from those things, and not being able to actually just live a normal life again, and not have to deal with all these shitty things that occur on my device, or not having any privacy, or not, I realize that's a very ambiguous statement, privacy, now, because we all know what's going on in the world as well, but still, this is in my opinion, this is on another level. But
Yeah, that thing. I mean,
get up
having no
every day and
privacy,
cope.
having no privacy. Sorry.
I know,
No.
but there's also there is the fact that I know that I can't have a phone call. There's audio stuff that's streaming from my house that from kit that doesn't even exist. There's a lot of unexplainables. I've got a lot of answers, but there's still a lot of things for me that don't make sense, or are not quite resolved in terms of what's happening. So there's levels of privacy, isn't there? That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to differentiate between. But what I'm saying to you is that with all that frustration and that that I feel, I can't imagine how you must feel, because there is no light at the end of your tunnel in terms of resolution with the powers that be.
Well, you basically told the end how my book ends without reading it. You basically told me the last chapter of my book.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to read now.
No, that's, of course I will. That's, but I mean, it's.
Well, actually, it begins in the first part. It says, my story has a beginning, has a before, but doesn't have an after. I mean, it's a story that was a point of inflection in my life, that my life has a before, but there is no after. I mean, I see no light. I mean, I'm fucked up.
I feel awful saying that, because.
No, but I have already assumed. I mean, I've been living with that. I have completely assumed that, and I will take my antidepressant pill now, because no, just kidding. No, it's okay. I mean,
does it help talking to people like me?
Yes, absolutely. That's like free therapy.
It is. No, I wondered if I know you said that earlier, but I wasn't sure if you were just joking or not. Or
No, it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot because, as I told you, imagine somebody who lived all the things, injustice, all the things that I had to live. Somebody who was sent to prison, and when somebody is sent to prison, normally that person, the life of that person is destroyed. Probably the family is destroyed. You are destroying a person, a family. You are destroying the dreams, the hopes, the wishes, the all the. I mean, you are destroying so many things that you cannot
Sure.
recover, and you might be innocent, and then you get released from prison. That I got released only because I could pay a $10,000 bail. That I'm still out on a bail because I'm still in the process. So if my mother didn't have that money to pay for the bail, I would still be in prison, which is crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
And the fact is that imagine having lived all that and then getting released and not doing anything, just shutting up. I mean, it would be the most frustrating thing in the world. I mean, when I went out, I wanted to to put my story everywhere in the world that I could. I wanted to expose them as much as possible. I didn't exist on social networks prior 2017. After I got because I always wanted to have the lowest profile I could. I wanted to be outside any radar. But now
Yes.
I overexpose myself. I am aware of that. I
Yes.
I I expose myself too much. I mean, I don't recommend anybody to do what I do on Twitter, but I do it as an strategy in order to get something positive from the exposure and get to know people, get to the attention of certain people, to show that I'm a normal guy, that I'm genuine, that the person that is posting in Twitter is is the same person that it is in real life. So I'm overexposing myself, but with the objective, it's like my personal branding being potential by this. I mean, I can reach so many people by doing this that otherwise I wouldn't be able to tell my story to anyone. And now
Of course.
I'm being reached all the time by people who want to interview me for podcasts, for magazines, for other things. And well, the price I have to pay is the overexposure, posting too much information, but also it's all on purpose. It
Yes.
has its risks, its disadvantages, but I put everything on the balance, and I decide to follow that strategy. I wouldn't recommend anybody to do what I do, but I am using that as a tool. I mean, I could either shut up and be nobody, don't say anything. But
Yes.
no, if I had to fight against this, I have to be someone that people knows, and I get so much support that I mean, your message, I wasn't following you, so your message was in the folder of message requests that I don't normally check, and I saw that I had a message, and I don't know why. I was waiting because I was going to have my haircut this
Yes.
morning, and I was waiting outside, and so I opened Twitter and I decided to click on the message, and when I started reading it, I felt like, wow, these beautiful words means a lot to me. What you wrote was beautiful, made me feel really happy. I mean, you really made my day,
Aw.
and no, really. So, and I wouldn't, you wouldn't. Well, how did you contact me? How did you find me?
Well, I definitely, because I listen to Darknet Diaries regularly, and I've seen your name pop up a few times recently, and I think there is I don't know if it's somebody that's doing, whether you're doing it, but there's some website that is associated with you started to follow me,
Oh,
and
that web
I
today. That web today.
think so. I think I might have retweeted some of your tweets or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. I don't know the exact. But yeah, and then I just listened or just looked at your YouTube channel. I was just looking at your stuff, and then I really sort of started to understand more about what had happened, and I was just like, oh my God. And it was just because I could just I genuinely could feel your pain, you know, just for your frustration and stuff. That's what I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to say I'm with you.
Yeah, and people give me like your message. I get so many messages that really help me a lot, and without all that support, I would have thrown the towel. Because the pressure that I live under is a lot of pressure. I told you, I feel
Sure.
the war upon my
Facts.
shoulders. Hello, how are you?
Doing great. I just released something on my Twitter that's very interesting.
What
But I
was
decided basically I curled Encyclopedia Dramatica's entire website because they wanted to start crap with me. And their website basically owned itself.
man? Don't do that.
Well, I mean, all I did was run a curl command and it came up with WordPress admin.ajax. And I was like, oh no.
I love. Sorry, I love WordPress.
Yes, same here, dude. And like when you use WordPress includes or RSS feeds and then you do /settings and then it pops up a fatal error.
Yeah, I love. Sorry, but you did a bad thing. You're a bad guy. You should go to prison.
Oh, I've already done my time.
Welcome to the club.
I know,
Wow.
right? Freaking 10 years of probation, 4 years in prison, and now I'm off papers completely. So I'm free to do whatever I want, and I'm going after people that do dumb shit on the internet.
That's
And basically, I'm just having fun with it now.
well. I think that the do you how do you say in the English? The means justifies the ways, or something like that. And I think that in many cases, the it's correct. I mean, uh, you have my support.
Yeah, I
As long
actually
as you're
released
not
it.
hurting people.
Oh no, facts. Like Docspin tried to go after me recently and they keep asking me when are you gonna deface us? I'm like, what's the point in that when I can play whack-a-mole with your sysadmin?
That's
Gee,
funny.
another world.
Yeah, I mean they claimed their website couldn't be hacked, so I had to
No,
prove a
Oh
point with
yes,
it.
I
no,
love that.
that's the worst thing that anybody can
Yes.
tell to a hack. I mean, if you say this is impossible to hack, then okay, just give me time and I will prove you're wrong. You cannot say this is
Oh, but
impossible to
someone would
hack.
hack me.
No,
Oh,
no.
exactly. I go after companies basically that do wrong crap, like a serious wrong crap. Like the reason I went after Docspin was because of their obsession with like hacking and doxing children. Like that's messed up.
Ah, this is what's happened to my
And I,
boys.
Can
yeah,
you tell
Got
him? Can you tell him your story, Samantha, shortly, so he can
sorry.
understand? Samantha, can you tell him your story shortly so he can understand better?
Well, part of it, yeah. Just that my kids' accounts. We had a art poisoning situation, and all our obviously data and accounts were exposed. I had everything stolen, blah blah blah. But my kids' accounts are still being used. Oh, they were anyway. I can't say for sure now because I haven't looked recently, but they've got a footprint over the dark web that associates them with all sorts of things, including child pornography. Neither of them are 18 yet, and I've been struggling to get the police on my side to help me.
That's the thing with like the police and cybercrime. They'd rather arrest a hacker for breaching someone's data than arrest the people that are actually like doing messed up crap. Like when
Sure.
someone's targeted, they targeted me and swatted me so many times and sent shit to my house so much that I'm now whitelisted. So basically all they did was a favor for me and I gave them my address.
What you mean, like deliveries of things?
Like they would call in like a fake hostage situation, have like 20 squad cars pull up, and like I was already used to it. It doesn't bother me. Like that's not really hacking. You're just wasting police time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure. But I guess you're from the States, and at least they have some rules and regulations, unlike where Alberto is from, where
Oh,
in Uruguay where
no,
they have
in
no
Uruguay
rules
there are
around.
no rules. Basically, there are no rules. It's like we are in the centuries, in the 19th century.
Yes, sir. And see, like that's why I'd love to live anywhere but the US. The US's hacking laws, they're basically terrified of hackers and they don't know what to do with them. That's why Jeremy Hammonds is still in prison.
Sure. It's a very grey area, but I think it's clearly something that we have to go through in order to manage going forward, because technology is, you know, moving at the speed of light, and the creativity behind the hacking for whatever purpose is being done is immense now, and you know, regular people haven't got a clue.
No, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And as I said, it's a tip of the iceberg. Pegasus, it's nothing. Pegasus is nothing. What's going on is much bigger than Pegasus.
Yeah, of course, but at least it's now becoming in the, you know, people are becoming aware because it's in the public domain. It's like Bitcoin. You know, the first time it hit its, was it 2017? I think when it first, that's when I first heard. I think
2011.
No, okay, no, but when it really hit the public domain, I mean, in terms of normal people, not normal people.
That would have been 2014 when it started skyrocketing, is when cryptocurrency did. That was when blockchain was still blockchain.info.
Sure. What is it no longer that then?
No, it's .com now. That's their back end. And Coinbase was rarely used back then. Ethereum had just started, and then JP Morgan opened a bunch of accounts with $8,000 a piece in it to fluctuate the market to buy low and sell high.
Well, fair enough. Haven't we all tried that?
Sorry, I would like to say to Barbecue that this is the proof that I can cope with cryptocurrencies. This is an internal joke. I know, Barbecue, so I can listen to a conversation about cryptocurrencies despite my trauma. So that's a proof.
Dogecoin.
Well, no, I too have lost all mine. You know, all of mine was stopped. I would have been a Bitcoin millionaire twice over now.
Me too.
So it's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, Yeah, when the feds raided me, they seized my Bitcoin wallet that had $180,000 in it, and that wasn't very fun because they seized my equipment.
I mean, we have both been arrested. We have both been stolen Bitcoins. Man, you're my brother.
Yes, sir. I actually found a subdomain on Coinbase that's when you go to it, it says domain not configured.
Wow. Well, I've got somebody's still using my authenticated Coinbase account that's associated with my UK current bank account that's not in use, but it's still live because it's being investigated, and a Spanish bank account that was dormant, if you like, and I'm sure that there's money laundering going on through them, and I can't recover my Coinbase account because all my SIM was swapped, my 2auth was basically they've got my tool
Well-
off and I haven't, so I can't ever recover, and I can't get access to the
Well-
email accounts.
See, the thing with SIM swapping is like anybody can do SIM swapping. It's not hard to go to Walmart and order a SIM, but when they get caught, they have to use their ID when they check out at Walmart because they're retarded. That's why SS7 is implemented, and very few people have the SS7 exploit, which allows you to manipulate phone OTP passwords like PIN verifications for phones. It'll auto do it when it calls, and you can basically clone their number and you can authenticate yourself through their phone.
Right, that makes sense. I've got quite, yeah, I definitely get the two-factor author. I can't. Well, I don't use two-factor now. I know it's useless, but I rely on SMS as a secondary layer, which I know is
Yes.
fucked because you can tell when they come through. Because sometimes from Apple, I get a second. It's from some number 52 space 732 or something instead of saying Apple.
Yeah.
So, which is clearly not right.
Well, that's like with my phone. I get a bunch of I can tell when somebody's messing with my stuff because they retardedly will call me from an out of area code number, and people don't call this number that I use a lot. I purposely hack from an Android just to make the state of security that people use even more funny. It's a hobby of mine. I don't do it for money because I don't care about money and material things. I want to do it because it raises awareness for security, and it shows how easily someone can be taken over, and security is basically an illusion. Nothing is ever secure.
Yeah.
Someone coded it, and there's always a flaw.
I love you, man. I love you. I love you. I love you, man.
Well, I'm not a hacker, so I'm just a victim. That sounds really lame, doesn't it?
I wouldn't consider myself a hacker. I'd consider myself a reverse engineer.
Well, that's either way. That's way more than I'm capable of. I have learned an awful lot, but I decided a long time ago, because I couldn't trust a lot of things that I see on my screen, that there was no point me even attempting to go down the sort of programming route. I'm fairly I'm pretty computer literate, even though I haven't used a actual laptop or a computer for some years now. But
Yes.
I just thought there's no point. And actually, what I am good at is spotting patterns. I've got a very good eye for detail and memory, and I think that
So,
is key.
yes. And see, with memory, that involves a good bit. With memory wise, you can social engineer. If you can remember stuff and have a photographic memory, you can social engineer. And social engineering is one of the best things ever because it's the failure of people. And you basically hit someone up, you tell them something, and you already know all the answers to the questions you're going to ask them.
Sure. No, absolutely. But it's not really my end goal. I don't know what my end goal is really at the end
You
of the
have a
day.
problem. You have a problem then.
I'm sorry?
You have a problem then if you don't know what your end goal
No,
is.
I know. What I do know is I've always worked very hard. I did all right for myself. And I've always used communication as to make me money ultimately. But since this happened, I felt muted, if you like. And I don't know, but I've learned a lot. I know that I'm no expert in cyber. Well, I do listen to a lot of cybersecurity podcasts, and I read a lot of papers, and I do know what's going on in the world, but I don't have to transfer that.
I can tell that from I can tell that from looking at your tweet timeline that you are not ignorant. You really know a lot, and that's something great. I would like to say hi to Chirag. He's a friend. He's also a good person. So hi, Chirag. So
Hi,
you have.
Chirag.
Hi, Alberto. Hi, Samantha and Sleep. Hey, Sleep. I am also in
How's it going?
Alpharetta, Georgia.
Oh, that's what's up. I'm actually in Macon, And believe it or not, I actually don't have a computer and I use Android for everything.
Oh,
Nice.
really? Now that's interesting because when I tell people I do everything through an iPhone, they don't believe me.
Yeah, people don't believe me either. Like, if you take a look at my Pastebin or my GitHub, the stuff I'm able to do with Termux is retarded because all a Android is and all a phone is a version of the Linux kernel. That's like iPhone is just a smaller version of Snow Leopard. Android is just a version of CentOS and F-Droid custom coded.
Sure. Well, the trouble, yeah. I mean, I'm fascinated by it all. I'm massively encouraging my youngest son to get into hacking because he has definitely got. I mean, he's a big gamer and he's definitely got the skill set that. And I think actually you need to fucking learn how to hack these days because that's the only way you can protect yourself.
Yes.
So, and I think.
And see, like, oh, my bad.
No. Sorry. I'm really rubbish at interrupting. So sorry. It's probably me.
Yeah, me too. I'm like the worst person at explaining stuff. And that's why people like on Twitter go after me a lot because I literally just troll people when they insult me, but I troll them by embarrassing their security. I taught myself computer security and started learning. My grandmother was the programming logistics lead developer for the F-15 and C-130.
Wow.
That's amazing. Thanks, do convey. I mean, I'm not sure if she's still alive, but do convey my thanks to her for serving the country.
Yes, and see, like my family, other than like my cousin who used to be HP's regional manager in Europe, he's now retired. They're the only two that know about computers in my family, and the rest of them are like, "Why don't you get a job?" I'm like, "Because I want to work for myself."
So do you have a job?
No, I actually own a 3-bedroom house to myself that's paid for all from computer security.
Oh wow.
Well, that's nice.
What, bug bounty?
There's not many people who don't have a loan on their home. So you're
Yes.
Don't ask,
few
don't
busy
ask
1%.
about bug bounties. Probably the answer is something that I don't want to hear.
Well, from bug bounties, I honestly don't even know how to do a write-up properly because I'm terrible at them. So I've never really submitted one. I just was into OG accounts pretty much until Twitter started screwing me over. I've got a 1-character Twitter account that's perma-suspended.
Oh,
Just one
okay.
character handle? Wow.
Yeah, it's the number 7.
That's amazing.
I'm surprised you don't get hacked for that.
Oh, and people try to all the time. Like, you'd be surprised how many like Syrian and Russian and like different people I get password reset requests from. Like, my AOL is sleep@aol.com. I have the 1-letter S at AOL.com.
Nice.
I was into original accounts and I was selling them on forums. And I would basically go to their forums when they'd mark up stuff for people. I'd be like, why is this $1,000? Let me sell one better, but for like $20 to destroy their market.
Yeah, basically,
Wow.
have you heard an episode of Dark Retirees that talks about this guy who has a domain username in
Yes.
Twitter?
Yes.
That
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
the
it's
guy
pretty horrific,
basically
actually.
yeah, it's the same story.
Well, I actually know the owner of Bust-A-Bit very well. Like, he used to be a forum kid on hack forums back in the day.
Bust-A-Bit.
Yeah, the Bitcoin gambling website.
I'm not sorry. I'm not really up on that.
Yeah, Daniel actually owns it, and he got arrested, but he invested his wisely. And when he got out of prison, he made his money. That's for sure. I decided to go and piss mine away, and I'm still trying to get everything back.
Oh dear.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Imagine
know.
owning a bunch of Twitters you don't remember the password to.
Well, I get constantly locked out of my accounts historically and can't get back into them because the password's never what I set it to.
Yeah, and Twitter keeps locking me out of mine, and they'll never let me get to 5,000 followers before they'll suspend my account. I'm really surprised they haven't suspended me now, but I kind of figured out their auto suspension algorithm. You have to tweet Twitter timelines like it's a kindergartner. You can't curse, you can't say offensive things. So if somebody reports a tweet that it won't get suspended, you have to do use play on words to bypass it.
Well, I've only got 138 measly or something like that. No, maybe it's a bit now. I don't have any followers really anyway. It's not really what I'm about personally, but I don't know.
Yeah, like I didn't care about followers either. I just do this because I enjoy it.
Sure. Well, no, as I say, I don't obviously have anything interesting to say most of the time because I don't get many followers.
God,
You should see the. Oh, my bad. I was gonna say you should see how many people I have blocked.
well,
Oh, no, I do have a
I
few
have
of those.
250 people blocked and more than 2,000 mute.
I have 13,000 people blocked.
Jeez.
Wow, you're worse than
Yeah.
Kevin Mitnick has less than you.
Yeah, I know. It's just it aggravates them because then they have to make another account just to tweet at me.
Oh, I see. But who?
I don't even
I get
respond
your
to them.
strategy to
offend
piss
so
off
many
people. I
people?
mean, you are really good at pissing off people.
Yeah, I really
What
am.
do you
Like
do?
I purposely do it.
What is it you do that pisses people off so much?
I went after a website that basically gets people's information, and I made their security a laughing stock from an Android.
Yeah, but how does that piss people off and that affects your Twitter account? I'm sorry, I might be being dumb here, but
Because I'm the reason the Lizard Squad Twitter was suspended back in the day. Because I got access to it through Skype chat logs, and I started tweeting crap that got their 150,000 follower Twitter suspended.
so you're just known on Twitter for this kind of stuff as well, are you?
Yeah, it's just like my original Twitter was twitter.com/doxed, and I still have that. And I used to make fun of people a lot, like that would insult me or insult other people, and I'd just sit there and I'd be like, "Bro, you're not a hacker. Doxing isn't hacking. Botnets aren't hacking unless you're actually building the botnet and coding it yourself. It's just script kiddie stuff." And that's what I do to them. Like, I act retarded to them because I want them to think I'm stupid.
Okay. It sounds very complicated to me.
It is. It's basically a kid in high school being picked on, but he decides to pick on them by getting smarter.
Fair enough. That's, I totally understand that.
Never underestimate a hacker. Never underestimate a hacker. Never
Oh,
tell
no,
a hacker.
I don't.
Never tell a hacker that something is impossible to hack because they will fucking. I mean, don't do that. I mean, you don't know who's behind, and you
Yes.
you probably will have bad luck. So, respect people. Respect people
Yes.
because we are all equal. We deserve respect, and don't say a hacker that he's dumb. That no, don't do that.
Yes, and see, like with me, this is one of my favorite quotes. Hacking is like sex. You get in, you get out. Hope you didn't leave a trace behind. And claiming you can hack when you can't code is like claiming you fucked a chick when you've only masturbated.
Oh my god.
Okay, I should write that down. I actually ran this poll on my Twitter asking, what do you prefer, sex or hacking? And it was 75% hacking.
That's
So,
amazing.
so what does it tell? I mean,
A lot of people use OnlyFans.
okay, you got great points.
Let me so let me ask you all. You know how like a magician never reveals their trick. Um, I'm guessing the hackers don't reveal their tricks. Also, is that right?
No, I actually post everything. That's why a lot of the hackers don't like me because I release it to the public.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, y'all want to hold this and like keep it secret? No,
so you believe in sharing
that's
knowledge?
what hacktivism was.
That's
Yes,
nice.
knowledge is power. And when they get mad at me, like my motto is don't start shit, won't be shit, and that's it. Like I don't go after people for no reason unless they say something about me or bring my family into it.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm following your
I,
suit then.
yes, sir. And see, the hackers that are going after me now, I literally gave them my address and said, you guys can't do anything.
It's almost like what it reminds me of is when I went to school, there was always a ruckus between the two local schools, right? It was always one school against another. And now that's kind of been replaced by the hacker community and, you know, hacker groups against each other now, or gaming groups, or, you know, that kind of thing, really. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know how old
Yes,
you are.
it does.
You know, my question to the three of
28.
Okay, so yeah, you're definitely junior in comparison to
got a long way
the
to go.
rest of us.
Oh, absolutely not. I actually started programming when I was 7 on a Microsoft DOS computer.
Oh no, I'm not disrespecting your skill. I just mean in terms of your age. I mean, I'm 46.
Oh, like age-wise, yeah, but I've spent my entire life doing computers because it's what I'm good at.
I'm talking about when I
No, I
when I was
understand.
at school. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm not yeah, sorry. As long as it just I'm not trying to criticize your skills in any way.
No.
So,
like you're saying it's because age, meaning you've been through a lot more.
No. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. But when I'm just saying that, you know, years ago when I was at school, we didn't have technology in the same way as we do now. It was, you know, you've grown up with it more so than
this guy is 28 and he was in prison. He did a lot of things. He has more life than me.
Sure. No, I know this. That's not the point I was making. I was just comparing what I remember from being at school and how the local schools used to fight each other. It was always a competition between one school and another, who was going to be better. And I you don't see that. Well, I don't. I've got 2 teenage kids, and I don't see that now. What I see is it's the gaming community and the hacking community, or as one, and they're competing in that arena as opposed to at the school gates having a fisticuff fight now.
See, like with me, I'm just here to basically piss off the hackers who think that they're gods because it's fun to me and I like to give myself a challenge.
That's amazing. You know, both you and Alberto have gone to jail.
Your values, your motivations are the same as me. The first essence of Mr. Robot is I don't give a fuck about money. And that's how Mr. Robot got me. I mean, I don't give a fuck about money. You run this child pornography network. I call the cops, and I don't give a fuck about money.
Oh, exactly. That's like the FBI. The reason they raid hackers is because they're looking for credit card fraud and botnets because they want the people doing identity theft. What I do, they don't care about. They're like, okay, until it gets into data breaches, then they start to care because that's when it becomes credit card fraud by leaking information and personal info like SSNs and stuff.
I really want to know.
They don't care about.
Sorry. My bad, as you would say.
I was gonna. You're good. I was just gonna say they don't care about like hackers hacking hackers. All they care about is the people doing identity theft and botnets.
I'm interested to learn more about botnets, but I do need to go and visit the ladies' room. So if you'll excuse me for a moment, I shall be back.
You can take the telephone with you if you were a millennium or a. Just kidding.
I'll be back in a minute.
Take your time.
So, if I want to learn like a couple of things, one is doxing a Twitter account, and the other one is trying to find more information about someone who has stolen money from you, right?
There's a thing you can do. IP reverse engineering, and with every ISP, find out who their ISP is. I've got ISP methods for the ISP doxing for every US ISP company for social engineering.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And it's on my Payspin. I post everything and release it publicly because I literally don't care if I get arrested, because my kid's taken care of and I'm happy in life, and I've already been to prison, so I already know what that's like. Literally, I want to do it to raise awareness and to help people know what's going on and know what companies are doing and what fucked up shit people are doing.
Okay, so is everything on your GitHub? I can learn from there that you posted?
My Payspin.
What is that?
It's just payspin.com/u as in user, then /sleep.
Oh, I got it. Payspin. Okay, I see it.
There's that. The Warner Brothers records on the last page was the reason I went to prison.
Okay, Instagram ban method. Okay.
My followers are starting to see stuff.
Sorry,
there's a lot of stuff here.
Can you repeat your page? Oh fuck! I put the cellular on the keyboard, and it's your past bin account.
It's just
it's on his Twitter page, Alberto. If you go on his Twitter page.
Yes, it's on my Twitter.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, see, like, not a lot of people use Payspin, and GitHub, like, on mobile is just kind of broken a little, and it's very hard to use GitHub on mobile and actually post repositories. It's a pain to do it on GitHub, but I really like GitHub.
So let me ask you, would the doxing work on like an international account, like bunch of trolls who are sitting internationally?
Yes. Anybody can be doxxed. It doesn't matter if they're out of country. It doesn't matter where they are. It's just the will and time you're willing to spend gathering information on that person.
Oh, so it does take a bit of a time. Okay.
Yes, that's where people don't understand is I'm better at socialing than anything.
I know it's not like pushing a button in.
It's basically cost and benefit. I mean, how badly you want to know that. I mean, what's the price I have to pay to dox this person? Is it worth it? If the person is the head of a pedophile network, then I will probably spend a lot of time and resources. If it's somebody who has a credit card, I wouldn't waste my time.
I'm back.
Okay, so I see three of them here asleep. One is doxskid, one is doxbin number 1, and the other one is doxbin.org.dump.
Oh, I just use that as basically a notepad for the stuff I do online to go back to later. I actually am not going to release Doxbin's database because there's no fun in that. I'm just releasing ways to get into it.
Okay, got it.
Like, you'd be surprised what the curl command on terminal does. Literally, that's how I get into 90% of websites and using XSS.
Okay. What's the best way to be in touch with you? Like, do you respond to emails?
Twitter, DMs.
Oh, Twitter. Your DM is open. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, I see.
So go ahead.
Oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I use Twitter DMs and Discord more than anything, but I always check my Twitter. I hardly even use Facebook or any other social media platform.
Oh, I deleted my account on Facebook. So.
My Facebook is /hostiles.
And you use Twitter because you want people to see what you're talking about and you don't give a fuck.
Yes, exactly. It's just Twitter, you got to treat it like it's a child so they don't bang your account.
I'm back. Well,
So-
my son's just joined us actually as well. Hope you don't mind.
So one last question. You sleep.
Yes.
So I was looking at the malware ConJesus.
Oh, yes. That is
no.
a very fun one.
So when I clicked on it, it actually said, okay, cancel something. So what I did was I just quickly got out of that.
Yeah,
What
don't
happened?
open the manifest file. I probably should have said that. Just open the Python file and view the code for the Python. I probably should have included that, but didn't.
Okay, no worries. Okay.
No, but it's not, it doesn't have the payload in that version of the file. It really won't affect your computer or do anything. And that's like, I don't rat people. I don't care about ratting. I don't care about infecting people because it's pointless. I'd actually rather just share stuff. And I actually don't like malware myself because it's fucked up to keystroke and read someone's personal shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's a point of leaking data and stuff like on a different level, but then when you get into like ratting and shit like that, then it's just an invasion of privacy to a point.
Man, I have to say something. Are you basically social engineering me? Because all the things that you are saying is like I'm talking, so I feel like you are trying to use social engineering, generating empathy and mirroring. Because,
Absolutely not.
I mean,
I actually just like it, enjoy doing this.
those are my words, man.
I've been around in the hacking community since the early 2000s.
Man, those words you say sounds like my words.
That's like today's hacking community. Like, a lot of people don't even know what DEF CON is. And I'm like, how do you not know what DEF CON is and say you're a hacker?
Well, you're not a hacker then.
DEF CON is, well, it's, I understand if you're from a different country, but it's the biggest hacking convention in the US.
I know what DEF CON is. Black Hat.
Okay.
The Chaos Conference in Germany.
Yes, and see, like, I don't really communicate with people a lot on a personal level. I just basically want to fuck with the security because I enjoy it. I'm terrible at explaining stuff.
You basically lack of social skills like me.
Absolutely.
No.
That's why whenever I try to do a write-up, I am retarded. Every write-up I've done, they've denied. And Yahoo told me to do a write-up when I DM'd them. And they conversated with me for a while, said, you're definitely going to get a payout for finding a 100 error on Yahoo. I didn't know how to explain it because I had never came across something like it.
But man, you are great at social engineering. You do have social skills. You can manipulate people. You can tell people what they want to hear.
Oh no, yeah, like I don't even realize half the time I do it because I show people the utmost respect until given a reason not to. Like with me, I just like being a better person than I was in the past because I was a shitty person in the past.
Yeah, well, Chirac, you can. I think you are really interesting on the mindset of people that work in this field. That how the motivations, the values, how different from most of the people are. You are seeing here two characters that are surely outliers in society that would better be in prison than shutting up and not telling the world what's going on.
Facts.
Yeah, that's something that not many people understand. Most of the people don't understand. Most of the people just think of themselves. They want money. They want their egos to the moon. They just don't fucking care about
Yes.
others, and they do not put their energies or efforts or focus on doing things like you do for fun
Yes.
to expose those that are doing bad things.
Yes, and see, like with me, a lot of people forget about XSS subdomains, and XSS is implemented in everything. It doesn't matter what. If you have a payload, you can find something. It just depends on how long you're willing to spend time on it.
I've got a browser that creates XSS shit in everything.
Oh, I have a bunch of stuff like it won't let me copy a lot of stuff on my phone. I'm getting a computer in the next couple weeks, but I've got tons of payloads for it, and I love them. All I do is just copy them, paste them, enter them in, be like, nope, that one don't work. Let's try the next one.
Fair enough. I think that
Okay,
was what
I'm interested also on exposing things. So if you ever want to expose anything, count on me. I can tweet or post that in places where people can read it. I don't fucking care if I
Yes, sir.
get blocked or banned. I really would enjoy exposing things publicly. So you can count on me because that's better than sex.
Yes, it's the thrill of it. It's an adrenaline rush and a scavenger hunt online.
Yeah,
How
it's
do I
like
do that? How do I make those little signs come up in my icon?
what?
Well, I keep seeing like people putting like crying face or laughing or 100%.
Oh, you have to
But
go to the bottom, and you will see a heart. You will see, and when you press the heart, you have the options to yeah,
There we go.
right, you got it.
I see. Oh, cool. So you learn something new every day.
Well, it's your first time in Spaces. You weren't supposed to know it.
Well, no, this is my first time. Yes. So I'm learning fast. Sorry, I was interrupting there. Please carry on.
No, I was just saying to to Sleep that I love him. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, so he's someone you know.
Okay, thank you, Sleep. I didn't get to know him until now. I mean, we were following each other, but I haven't heard his values, his philosophy of life, his behavior, his motivations. It's the first time that I hear that about from him. So it's the first time that I talk to you, Samantha, and the first time I
Yes,
talk to him.
I feel so boring.
No, Samantha, your story is not boring. You have a hell of a story that is unfortunately
Oh, we
like
haven't even
mine, very
started
sad.
yet, really.
It's very sad like mine, but you are not boring at all. Yeah, and those notification sounds are telling you some sleep that I got it.
Yeah, I muted mine for a second because I can't multitask for crap. And you said you wanted information. Those are some pretty good information.
Okay, I will have fun now. I'm sure that I will not sleep tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And see, like, I find so much stuff like that I don't know what to do with it, and I don't stay focused on the same thing.
Take
Oh,
Ritalin, man. Do you want Ritalin?
Yes, and like if you look there, that's some vulnerabilities in Telegram.
Okay, guys, you speak because I am busy with. I have my new drug. I'm. This is like an orgasm for me. Sleep.
really? Really?
No,
A drug orgasm?
it's bad. No, it's better. It's
Jeez.
like a multi-orgasm.
I feel like oh, dog. Sorry, I've got my dog is literally pawing at my head. I feel like I got FOMO. I felt like that about DEFCON as well. I'm like, oh, I'm looking at all these things, and I just want to understand more. And then, but I just don't get the, I just feel like I need to learn programming.
I actually am horrible at coding, but I'm just good at breaking into stuff and making websites break.
Yeah, but how do you
I'm
do
good
that
at
if you don't? You must understand
No,
some
you
level
have,
of code.
no. Basically, you have to break things to do things behave the way they are not
Yes,
expected to
I
behave.
understand that.
But you have to throw everything. I mean, you have to be creative. You have to think like I don't know. You have to try anything. You have to have endless curiosity, patience, a lot of patience, because you will spend a lot of time without getting any result, and you will
Yes.
have to keep on
yes.
trying. And if you are somebody who gets bored easily and say, "Okay, fuck, I cannot do this. This is not for you." You have to cope with anxiety, with frustration.
Well,
You
I've
have
done
to,
all of those things. And I do totally get that. It just, I
and
still
you,
wouldn't know. I still don't understand how you break it. You
be,
still
be,
have to
well,
understand some
be,
coding to be able to break
There's
it in the first
different
place.
levels to it.
you
Like
you need
there's the coding aspect, there's front end, back end, and then there's pen testing. That's what I'm good at is pen testing. It's penetrating a
Sure.
website.
That's what Tyler does off the Security Weekly. I love him. I think he's great. Sorry. See, I can only relate to the people that I admire in the cybersecurity that I see on podcasts or stuff, because I'm not in the hacker community at all. So, although Sleep, you can have a look through some of my
It
stuff and see what you reckon, whether I'm right
there
or not. That I'd love to know that.
there's different levels to the hacking community. I've gone to parts of it that I don't enjoy being around.
Sure.
like what kind of communities you don't like that you don't like being around?
Oh God, Tor.
Well, isn't that like been a lot of the Tor nodes been taken over by a particular hacker who's running them? Well, I don't know what, I can't remember now the story, but is that correct?
Zkill was able to manipulate Tor exit nodes, and he turned them into a botnet.
Yes, that's perhaps the story I heard. Wow. So is that still going on?
I have no idea because he quit talking to everybody.
Oh, was that when his story came out?
Yes, he was the Lizard Squad member that got arrested for
Lizard Squad.
50,000 hacking crimes.
Now, I've heard of the Lizard Squad, but I can't.
I know all of them.
Okay, so I've heard of them, but why will I have heard of them?
DDoSing Xbox and PSN Christmas of 2014.
Right. Okay. Oh, yes. Actually, it's really ringing a bell. My son's Ow! Sorry, my dog is attacking me like mad. Please.
I was a member of Clan VV3 that hacked Gizmodo's Twitter a long time ago, and I took Avenged Sevenfold's Twitter, which had 1.2 million followers at the time.
Blimey. So do you play games?
I used to. It doesn't interest me anymore.
Don't tell me anything because I haven't played for 5 years, and the only game I played was GTA.
Who? GTA?
The last thing that I played was Modern Warfare 3 on Xbox.
Oh, okay.
And that was on a 360.
Okay. Now I relieve that you are not exactly.
Yeah, like once I got into hacking and reverse engineering and everything, like video games got boring.
Actually, the game is on the internet doing what you do. That's the game.
Yes, it's a game and a hobby. It's a career.
That's
It's a passion. It's a
way of
passion.
looking at it.
Yes.
It's the meaning of your life. I mean, I cannot imagine my life without being in this field, no matter what happened in the past.
Facts.
So hacking is really just it's like the new game. That makes total sense actually.
It's like playing a guessing game. Are you going to get arrested or are you going to get known and be famous? And then there's the am I in a honeypot or am I dumping a database?
I found
and
a database
honeypots
once.
are the adrenaline rush.
Really? Why is that then? Because they're
Yeah.
fake, aren't they?
Yes, and it's FBI traps. That's the adrenaline rush part. You're like, fuck, I don't know if I should do this.
But then look, it's not just the FBI, is it? Like loads of security people have honeypots and companies and like security companies, don't they? There's hundreds of the fuckers out there.
Yes. Yes,
So,
that's like I got into a system that was running 7 GPUs, and I'm like, something ain't right here.
So is that it? What? So you knew it was a honeypot because of that?
Yes, right away. So I sudo and then I RMRF'd the server and dipped.
Okay, you're speaking to someone that doesn't really understand what that means. So I know there was a massive vulnerability in sudo recently, but that's about it. And I know it's an Android. Is it an Android or a Linux thing? What's your?
It's Linux.
Sleep.
Linux is awesome, and Android is a tiny Linux computer.
Sure. Yes. No. Granted, I do actually. Yeah. But what do you think about the firmware situation? Like, have you tried to access firmware or corrupt firmware at any point?
Yes, I have a 0-day for every Linux kernel, no matter what, including Snow Leopard, and it's a local root exploit where I don't even have to drop a root shell.
So that's one you do keep then, you don't expose?
I don't want to expose it because I'm not sure how to go about it without causing mayhem.
Samantha, maybe
Yes.
he should see your timeline to better understand, because he was not here when Thomas you and Thomas and I were talking about your case and
Oh,
the
no,
situation
I'm
that
just asking
yeah, the
questions.
situation you are living is involved with that. So maybe you should tell Steve a little bit more.
Well, no,
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
and
just
see, like,
interested because I want to learn. You know, I'm constantly
No,
in a
I
quest
meant
of learning.
yeah, but I meant what you're living now, your situation, what's going on with you being under surveillance, your life being like living in hell because of what's going on in your life
Sure,
due to
but
technology.
I haven't really. I mean, I know I've told you a bit tonight, but you know, I don't even know where to start to explain. You know, I feel quite. Oh my
From the
god!
beginning,
So I got I had my business and my home network attacked with art poisoning, and basically trying to get help and mitigate the situation was impossible. I lost access to my business, all my financial everything basically. And after about 7 weeks and 2 professionals in, I went into a police station and I tried to explain to the policeman what was going on. And about 20 minutes in of that conversation, I found myself in the back of a police car where I had been read the riot act. I wasn't being arrested, but I was being, they tried to section me into a mental institution. So it's slightly different from everybody else in terms of dealing with the law, but it still renders you completely helpless. You know, I've never been in a police car or been in trouble with the police before. I certainly didn't have any history of mental health concerns, but you know, suddenly after 20 minutes of a conversation trying to explain this, I was psychotic, a danger to myself and my children, according to the police. So that's kind of where it started. And that's a very scary situation to find yourself in as a mother. I was a single mother of 2 boys. Hello, is anybody? Oh God, everyone! I don't know if anybody's there now.
I'm listening.
Sorry. Anyway, that's not what you wanted to say, is it? What you wanted me to say, is it? Hello, tell me.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I don't know. I've gone off a tangent again,
oops.
really, and I'm not really.
No, I was listening, but I'm terrible at
No,
multitasking.
that's
If I'm not
fine.
doing something while
I
I'm
just don't want to
listening.
bore people with my. You know, I know it's not exciting, but anyway. So basically, I'm still my device, all our device, my mum, my kids, my devices, our network is controlled by a third party. All our devices are enrolled into an enterprise that we don't know what it is, why. I've got legacy code running everywhere in my browsers. The browser I'm using now says it's supposed to be default Safari, but last check it was Instagram, or before that it was Netscape. Obviously Netscape have been
Ooh.
yeah.
That sounds like a network poison.
Well, yeah, it was art poisoning.
And
That's how it
that's
started, and it still is. I mean, we've had all sorts of DNA, but BT can't find anything. I think I know what's happened. I don't know whether you're familiar with
what
British Telecom.
yes, I am.
Their
And
kits, their routers come with a petition in them, because every person that signs up as a customer, a home customer with British Telecom, is automatically enrolled into a system where you donate a small percentage of your bandwidth to the BT public Wi-Fi network.
oh God.
And you have to
I
opt
know
out.
what that is.
Now, there is some kind of hole, there's a massive hole in that system, because we are constantly pushed out onto the public network whilst they snugly sit behind the secured network of our hub. And you know where it splits 5 and 2.4.
Mm-hmm.
So if I turn one or the other off, and if I then go and turn back on in the router settings, you'll see that it's got a really, really long multi-charactered SSID that's in use, that's not us. So there is some vulnerability. I don't know exactly what that vulnerability is, but that is, and I think it's, but I'm sure it's through that partition segment. Hello? Everyone's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Was
See, look, I bored the pants off of him.
No, he's probably investigating and grabbing information, and he will show up in minutes with a solution.
Well, I tell you what, something weird is going on right now.
What?
I don't know what. I don't know. It's all right. There's too many people. Yeah. Sorry. It's fine. Oh, somebody wants to be a speaker. Speak.
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah, I know Michael.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. Sorry, that's just really.
How's it going?
Good, great. We're talking with Samantha, who has some issues with being victim of. I don't know how to call it. It's not surveillance.
It is like a Pegasus. It's like a spyware infection, but it's just multiple. And I know other people that have my problem too. And according to somebody that an American journalist that engaged with me some time ago, and a colleague of his, hundreds of people around the world are looking at this or investigating it. So, and I've got some really chaotic, weird information from somebody else that I was chatting to for a long time, who actually then started to abuse me because they decided that I was like some prolific hacker that knew everything, and accused me of all sorts of things. But the information that he provided is crazy in terms of from a technical perspective and what was going on. But there are more people that are, in my boat, but nobody listens to them because we're nobody. Yes, don't all jump at once, will you?
Sorry, I just came into the conversation. So what exactly is
sorry.
the issue that's going on here? Something about a virus of some kind that just keeps going?
Sorry, my connection is really crap. Sorry. I'm new to all this Twitter space business, so I just find it a little bit bizarre. No, I've been just chatting with Alberto. I've been involved in a sort of a 5-year ordeal of dealing with the police, and unlike him, obviously I'm from the UK and we have laws, but I've just been through the mill, and they tried to section me and all sorts of things to, and not deal with my case. And there's been all sorts of fraud from an internal perspective as well, from the police side and things. But now it's finally being looked at, but that's it really. I don't know what to say. My kids have just been doxxed and have a lot of trouble as well, so which is really, really scary.
Oh yeah, that's gotta suck.
Yes, well, as I was explaining to Alberto earlier, they've unfortunately, before they're even 18 years old, they've both got a massive digital footprint that exists on the dark web, associated to their names and accounts, and one of them, their biometric data, and some of it goes as far stretched as associated with child pornography, and it has absolutely nothing to do with them. And I'm fighting for some acknowledgement because I'm concerned for their futures.
Definitely,
in
for sure.
In a similar way that Alberto obviously went to prison, and there's no sort of end game because there are no laws. Well, currently there are no real laws around the dark web, and you can't remove your data under GDPR. And what if one of my kids gets into trouble for something with the law when they're older, and then somehow they sniff out all stuff on the dark web that supposedly is associated to them when it's not, and they potentially could go to
Well,
prison.
don't
for
you have
something
to
that they
have
haven't done.
like a direct IP in order to get onto those servers like that? So, I mean,
What do you mean? Sorry.
well, I mean, in order to access those, aren't they technically like connected to a different type of protocol? So they're hidden from the normal web. So you got to have their actual IP in order to get to them. You can't just go type in their, a
No.
regular
I use
website.
a tool
Yeah.
to scrape the dark web to gain that information. But I'm saying, what if the police? So, I mean, they do have access to the dark web or data
Yeah,
on the dark
they
web.
do
But
have access, and they can actually solve your problem the way they close Silk Road. They have the technology, they want disclosure, they won't use it in cases like yours because they don't give a fuck about average people, but they can do it.
right, but that's what I'm saying. But in the future, let's just say, for instance, I don't know, one of my kids gets brought in for having some drugs or something. I don't know. Well, it could be anything, couldn't it? I mean, I don't know. I'm completely speculating, but
Well, if it's completely doctored, like images and stuff like that, I mean, they have ways of being able to tell that stuff as well if they're truly trained in that kind of thing.
yeah,
So,
that's the thing, though, isn't it? And as
That's
we've seen in
that's
Alberto's case, that means nothing.
no. The thing is that the problem that you mentioned regarding your kids, it's the kind of problems this guy Sleep solves. He's the one who go after these guys in the dark web, and he destroys them for just for the pleasure of destroying bad guys.
awesome.
So
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Oh, cool. So you think that's why he went off quickly?
no, I think he had to go to hack something that is better than sex, and he will be back. He's probably doing something that I buy. I wish I was doing the same, but he is basically the kind of person that solves those problems that the law enforcement will not give you an
Oh,
answer.
wow.
I will treat you like you are crazy.
Yes. Well, yes. Quite. It's a scary world these days. It really is.
Uh, and 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 it's amazing because actually Sleep had contacted me yesterday or the day before yesterday, and I didn't pay attention to his message. I got a lot of direct messages that I just don't read, and yesterday or this morning, I can't remember because I didn't sleep, somebody asked me about him, if I knew him and what I thought about him, and I'm pretty sure it was him trying to test me.
Ah, yeah. He seems like that. Yeah, he's quite intense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him that with another profile asked me about him because he messaged me and I didn't answer. So he just tried to see what he could get from me. I mean, and I said nothing. He's following me, I'm following him. That's it.
Sure. Well, who knows? Maybe he'll do me a favor.
You mentioned it. Your solution is finding the right person, and maybe you are lucky. And in this environment, there are a lot of people, and it's the law of. I mean, it's probability. I mean, if you show up in places where you meet a lot of people, the odds of meeting the right one increase.
Yeah, I guess
Obviously.
so. I never
So
really thought about it like that, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, Woody Allen said it. I mean, you have to show up. Luck doesn't exist. You have to show up
Yes.
everywhere.
No.
If somebody invites you to the party, go. You don't know who you will find. Go.
Do you know what? You're so right. I know. But I, for a long time, I just isolated myself totally. So, but I have tried to stop that now.
Well, me, I was telling you the way why I expose myself so much and riskly on Twitter, for example, posting intentionally pictures of me, of other places, with timestamps on the picture, being completely aware of what that means, that I don't
Yes.
recommend anybody to do that. I post the picture with the timestamp on it and metadata, and I don't fucking care because I'm looking for exposure. That's sadly my strategy in order to get to know more people and to get contact. I mean, you contacted me, and for me, it was fabulous. I mean, first of all, the message of love that you sent me, I mean, was beautiful. You really made me feel wonderful. Was something great for me. So thank you. And second, I can introduce you to people that might help you, and your support for me means a lot. So that's why I expose myself so much. I mean, I am meeting a lot of great people here.
Sure, I can see that. Look, hey, there you go. Is that the right one? Was that the right symbol? I don't know, but yeah, no, I'm getting that. It's I'm speechless, to be honest, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and basically, you have already had dinner because in an hour, and no, in less than 2 hours, I start in the space about security in social networks that you're invited to. I mean, it will be a second part of this. That we have been talking for 3 hours.
I know. It's amazing, really, isn't it? It's 11 o'clock here now. I'll do my best to stay up, but I can't promise. I'm absolutely knackered.
No, you should get rest and sleep.
Well, that's the thing, because like you guys, for a long time, I was, 24/7, and it has recently caught up with me. So, and as I say, the doctor, I knew it started. Sorry, I know you're all men. So, oh no, Eleanor's a lady. I recently started my female time of life change thing. So I had to go to the doctors for the first time in 5 years, but they would just took my blood pressure and they were like, oh my God, why are you not dead, sort of thing. And I've been on trying to balance my blood pressure ever since, and I've just had to really I don't know, I'm just knackered all the time, so I'm sleeping a lot more, which is good for my body, but I feel like I'm not concentrated in the same way as I was, which does piss me off a lot.
Yeah, you have to find a balance. I mean, for me, it's like I haven't slept last night. I don't know if I will sleep this night, and that is very bad. I mean, it's something destroying. But on the other side, I'm like under the influence of a drug that is stronger than me, and I have to keep doing the things that I'm doing. And I know it's from my health. It's terrible. I should sleep 8 hours a night. I should go to bed at night, but I don't do that because it's stronger than me. It's like the
Sure.
passion that drives me. I cannot control.
Yes, no, I hear
But
that.
it's something that is not healthy at all. I mean, it's very toxic.
No, it is, and there's still so many things going on in this world that people don't know about, isn't there? It's I don't think in this situation, I'm not sure that knowledge is power.
Knowledge is a very expensive commodity. But knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. I mean, ask Cambridge Analytica. They made
yes.
Trump won an election. It is power. Yeah, it is power. no doubt
I
about
think
it.
Cambridge Analytica have a lot still to answer for. I think it's very.
No,
I
the
know
thing,
that in
it's
the UK they went to court and then they totally, you know, all the whatever it was that came out of it. I can't remember the name of it now, but you know, they said that it was shocking, and but they did nothing. They did nothing.
no,
And I know,
the thing is that was in 2016. We're in 2021. Can you imagine how big the monster now is? Because of course they didn't stop. They kept feeding that monster. That monster
yes,
right now is. I can't imagine what that monster is doing with
I can
us. I
show
mean,
you what that monster looks like. You've only got to look at some of my OTX pulses because ultimately it's WhatsApp and Facebook, the Facebook data and some WhatsApp vulnerabilities that started all, you know, or the from the spying side of things. Or I don't think it's that they're spying, but in the real sense, but they certainly keep an eye on me because I know that I have information that they don't want exposing.
Yes.
That's why they keep an eye on me.
Oh, I see.
I'm sure that's why. Well, I can't think of any other reason. Can you?
I don't know you. I mean, I just met you this morning by accident. Okay, I don't believe in accidents, but I was just waiting to have my hair cut, and I saw somebody message request, and I don't know why I open it, because I told you I don't normally open that, because it's normally a message saying, "Please, sir, can you teach me how to hack? Please, sir." So I just don't want to read that, so I don't read the messages that are sending from people I don't follow, and I open your message because the guy who cut my hair was late. Otherwise, I wouldn't have opened the message.
Well, it's obviously fate, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Cambridge Analytica that made that happen for some reason. I don't know yet. I will eventually.
No, but it's very. I do think that story is particularly interesting, and I think that the fact that there is companies in the UK being run by those same directors, I believe, there's a lot of more of a story there, I think, to come out.
Absolutely. I have absolutely no doubt about that. That was the beginning. That was just the start. During these years, the evolution that thing must have had is something that is impossible to imagine. It's but the good thing is that one day we will find out, because it will be leaked, how big that thing is, and we will all go like, wow, this is the major security issue or privacy breach in the story. And no, it will be another one that will be bigger, and this will never stop.
Yes, I agree, definitely. And I think that Facebook, we all know Facebook is bad. I'm sure everybody here, if you're here, you probably know Facebook is bad. So
Mark Zuckerberg is the most hated person in the world.
Is he really? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all.
I don't know how he can sleep at night with the things that he have done. I mean, you cannot stop with the privacy of people. I mean, that's something that you have to respect to the most.
Well, he doesn't advocate privacy for people, does he, at all? He's the one saying that we need to just adjust to AI and not having privacy. That that's his ethos, really, isn't it?
Well, for me, privacy is something that should never be violated, should be respected to the most. That's like this guy was saying. I don't care about hacking people's accounts of anything. I don't enter into people's private life. I don't care about that. If I do things, I do against people that are doing those things against people. But I don't care about what you do in your private life or anything. That's
but there is I don't know what if anybody else has an opinion on this, but I hear a lot of things about the Chinese spying on ordinary people and collecting DNA. I dog walk with a guy from South Africa actually, and he recently told me that he's actually deaf, completely deaf, has been since he was 18 months old as a result of the MMR jab actually, but that's another story. And he told me that he works for a Chinese investment bank behind the gardened wall, if you like, and he was the one that sort of, I'd read some stuff about this DNA thing, but he just came out with it one day and said that they're collecting the DNA because they think that they can control people if they know their DNA. So I just think that's so far-fetched, but I don't know.
I can tell you, in Uruguay, our justice system, the police, is like from the, I don't know, from 200 years ago. So we are so pathetic that the USA gave us the system COVID in order to register the ADN of people and search for it to solve crimes. So we are running the COVID system here in Uruguay. The condition was that all the information stored in the system collected here in Uruguay was being sent to the USA. So the USA has all the ADN of all the people in Uruguay registered here, including myself, because everybody who is sent to prison is taking a sample of DNA. So my DNA is in the United States. They have a copy of that, my fingertips, and all my information. That's doing a deal with the devil.
So you think? So what you're saying is that the Chinese, it's not just the Chinese collecting that.
No, it's much more bigger. I mean, even though China is big, the whole scenario is much bigger than that. I think I am completely sure that it's much bigger than that. It's much bigger, and a proportion that it's hard to imagine. But I don't think it's only China. No. No.
So you
no
think
way.
there's some kind of truth in all that? Full stop.
It's a topic that where things are so incredible that anything is possible. I mean,
Sure.
nothing surprises me. I mean, if they tell me that China and the United States have a secret agreement for something, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I mean, nothing surprises me.
No, I get that because I'm very much like that these days as well.
Hey, Alberto.
Yeah. Hello, barbecue.
Hello. Yeah. No, serious question. No more Dogecoin for now. But so what do you think about Eric Snowden? Do you think of him as a hero?
I think that we put in the balance the good things that he did already. I mean, exposing what we already know, showing the evidence of things that we already know are something that I respect a lot. On the other hand, the side effects of the information he released caused damage to many people, but we cannot judge a person only for he did good or he did bad. You have to put in a balance the good and the bad, and in my case, I think that the balance is positive. I like him. I mean, the consequences of his acts, the collateral damage, it was it, but the good that he did was worth it. I'm sorry, in every kind of situation like this, there are victims, but I think the positive things that he did are more than the side effects. So I like him.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah, I read his book, and I'm still conflicted. Yeah, I go back and forth on his story, whether it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, and
Is that I don't think there's a right or wrong thing to do. It all depends on, I mean, my point of view and your point of view. We can say, okay, I conclude that this guy is good, or you can say it's bad, but it's also relative that I mean, for the government of the USA, he's a traitor, and they want his head. For the world, he's a hero. He showed what was going on in the real world. So, is he evil? Is he good? Depends on the side from where you see it. If you see it from the eyes of the people that were killed because of the information he released, he's the worst person in the world. Imagine if somebody from your family was affected by the information he released. You would hate him. You will try to kill him. I mean,
there's many stories throughout history, isn't there, to do with governments and wars and things that would correlate to the same thing, where people have died. But we have to ask ourselves, where would we be without that information?
Yeah,
So
he's an
Go ahead.
outlier. He's an outlier, and as every outlier, he's the one who triggers changes in the world. So I really respect our outliers.
Okay, what do you feel the same way about Julian Assange?
Well, the thing is that I don't have enough elements in order to judge him, because all his supposed dirty secrets, I have no elements to. I actually. Okay, let's talk about Wikipedia and not Assange. I can say Wikipedia is something amazing that has all my support. I cannot talk about the person behind that. I don't know the true fact behind that person. So I support Wikipedia. I not either support or not support Assange.
Okay.
What's your opinion, Barbecue, regarding Assange?
It's the same thing. I'm conflicted, right? I mean, I tend to the Snowden case, and then there's who's the other one?
Manning.
Oh yeah, Manning. I don't know enough about that situation to have any feelings. Like I said, I guess I have more feelings about Snowden just because I read his book. And one thing I will note on that is just like you're absolutely right in like whether it's right or wrong in a general sense, I guess that's a different question. But yeah, personally, if it affects you, of course, you have a strong feeling for it. For the United States government, he's how the media and how the government just kind of portrays him isn't fair, right? I mean, like he's basically trapped in the Soviet Union, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't find any safe haven in like South America or in Western Europe because the U.S. government was putting pressure on them that you better not house this guy. But the way it's portrayed is that like, well, he's like a Soviet agent or something like that because look where he went to. And it's like, no, he basically got stuck there. Like on the way to South America, he couldn't finish his trip. So
yeah, hold on a second. If I'm not wrong, Elena is from Ecuador, or I'm wrong. She's from somewhere like that. Elena, are you from Ecuador? If you are listening, just wondering because Assange, Ecuador. Okay, keep talking. Sorry, Barbecue. I was just
no. I'm just saying that. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you can have a general philosophical question about anything, whether it's right or wrong. I think in a general sense, but when you're talking about privacy and protection of privacy for the average citizen, its importance, I guess you just look at it through that lens. Then people like Snowden are probably heroes, right? I mean, there is fallout from it, but it's like I'm always paranoid of big government, right? and
Yes,
and so that really scares me. So when somebody can blow the whistle on it, I think that's always a good thing. But my conflict just has to be, well, there are government secrets, and those secrets being divulged do kill people, and it's like what level of blood is acceptable for that type of outcome, and what are
yes,
the changes from Snowden?
yeah. You have to consider that what was the price that he had to pay for what he did. I mean,
Massive.
the price was his life. I mean, he was willing to release all that to the world, paying for losing his life, basically. I mean, that's something that is respectable. I mean, from my point of view.
I
Yeah.
agree. He must have been aware of the consequences of his actions as well.
Oh, he
Well,
absolutely did. If you read his book. I mean, he left a note to his girlfriend that he was going to marry at the time, and he was just like, "You may not see me again."
yeah.
I mean, that was it. So he knew he had to leave the country. He knew obviously his job was toast, and that he'd be a wanted man, and he didn't know who he was going to ever see again. So that's pretty bold. I guess when I read his book, I was always looking for what is the other incentive? Like, are people really that heroic? Or was there some other reason? Like, is he not telling us all the facts why
I
he
don't
did?
think it's about being heroic. I think it's just about having a moral compass. And I think that's something that I've found, share with Alberto, in the sense that when something is wrong, it's wrong. And if you're somehow being told by the world that it's all right, just ignore it, or let it go, or whatever, or just accept it, and you're not, and you are somebody with integrity, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's, like I said, I don't know if I could if I put myself in his position, I don't know if I could do it. And I think I'm a person with integrity, but man, that's a high price to pay. I mean,
Sure.
basically he could be killed too. I mean, that wouldn't be out of the question. That would just be disappeared. And so that is.
Yeah, I appreciate there was a lot more at stake for him. So I can understand why you might question that, but I think ultimately people are people that care. There are people out there, and whilst he might have, I don't know, you can't get inside someone's mind as much as you'd like to, but I think ultimately what drove him was the truth.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. If you ever get a chance to read his book, some of the details of what he saw, how
I read part of it. Part of 9/11 was, wow, this is.
No, just the
crazy.
inner workings of the NSA and Alberto. I'm an IT guy. I think you're a high level IT guy. So you work in InfoSec or something, obviously. So it just the protocols, the sloppy protocols, the lack of security and stuff, and how he even got access in a weird way. I was looking at it from like a technical point of view. It's like, how did he get this deep to the system to even get at that stuff? So that was another reason I was interested in reading his story. It's like, how did he even acquire access to be able to?
He did a really good interview with Joe. I've never read his book, but I have.
I heard the interview when he released the book, and I have the book. But what you mentioned, barbecue, is the same that happened with Manning. How did he manage to get access to thousands of confidential files? Because
I'm
of
sure that
a
in
human
the
error.
interview,
Human error. I mean, the permissions were wrong, and he could access to all the information.
That was
Human,
it. Yes,
human error.
Well, it's even more than human error. It's how the government acquires, gets these people in these positions. Like, he was a contractor working for a subcontractor, and like they were short on staff, and he got certain level of access that you're not supposed to get unless you're a fully vetted like NSA employee. And it was like, so he was able to like, what is that guy from the 80s? Like the great hacker from the 80s, Kevin Mitnick, right?
Yeah.
Like his way in was not his expertise. You probably know this, Alberto. It was his social engineering.
Yeah,
that
no, he didn't. I mean, he didn't use a computer to hack. He used his personality, his voice. That was his hacking tool. But Manning, the problem with Manning was that the human resources procedures when hiring him failed because they should have detected the problems in his personality, his background, and other issues that would have prevented him from being in the position he was, because he had issues that were not aligned with the position he was taking. And then, well, he got access to the documents and he did what he was supposed to do with those problems with his mental health.
Ultimately, he just, it's just the rules failed, didn't they? And nobody took the rules that seriously until more recently.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Here in Uruguay, for example, nobody takes into account security until the company explodes because of a security attack.
Exactly. That's the point, isn't it? And it's exactly the same thing
It's
that
not
applies.
proactive. It's reactive. Always reactive, and you have to suffer the pain in order to open your eyes. It's not like, okay, I will be prevented because I understand the risk and the consequences of not doing this. No, it's okay, hit me as hard as you can, and then if I feel the pain, I will be prepared next time. No, it's not like that.
What's barbecue? What's the name of the book that you read? I would love to read that one.
It's Vigilancia Permanente in Spanish, which is continuous vigilance or something like that.
No, the book on Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
What's? Oh, okay. Can you repeat that one more time, Alberto?
Yeah, hold on, that I have it here. It's called, in Spanish, it's called Vigilancia Permanente, which means continuous vigilance, continuous monitoring would be the translation.
Okay, I'll look for it in English.
Well, I think the world's changed for the better as a result of what he did. Not that my opinion counts so much, but
do you think the world improved? Do you think that there was an
I
improvement?
don't think it's improved, but I think we needed to understand this stuff in order to go through this shit to then clear it up and have a better way.
Yeah,
but
the name of the book is Permanent Record in English. Permanent Record.
Okay, thanks, Barbie.
So, Chirag, what are your thoughts on Snowden and Assange? What do you think about them?
Well, I mean, I don't know much, but the only thing I know is that these guys were like top level hackers, and they knew how to extract information and expose the various elements within the governments, which were not doing their job that the constituents elected them for. And so democratically, you should always question, the politicians that you've elected. But when you start defending them, and as a result of which one or two sections of the society begin to get neglected, that's when someone gets up and takes some action.
Yeah,
that's basically what I understand that they did, and obviously they had to pay a huge price.
Yeah,
but one thing I believe that, not to make this a very racial comment, but one thing I believe that will save Snowden and Assange is the fact that they're white. Yes, they'll stay in jail for a long time, but at some point they will be released. maybe 10, 15, 20 years,
Snowden's
whatever.
not
that
in
is.
prison, though, is he?
No, Snowden's
I
hiding in the Soviet Union. And the funny thing about Snowden, too, if you read the book, is this, like I was telling Alberto, him being an IT person of some sort, is that, I mean, he's not a high level guy. Snowden isn't. He was a dude who basically barely graduated high school. I mean, he was really good with computers and hacking and stuff, but I mean, he kind of dominoed his way into like this high level access through some training here and some training there and consultant work here and consultant work there. That's what scared me the most, is just exposing kind of the NSA's highest level of tiers of information, how it wasn't super difficult for somebody who hadn't been really vetted and wasn't like a full-fledged like 20-30 year guy who's super trusted, had access at the highest levels, and he wasn't even overly formally educated. So
He was just in the right place at the right time.
yeah, that
or the wrong place. I mean, basically, what I don't know about the book because I didn't read it completely. But the trigger for him was his girlfriend. That the boss told him that she was not cheating on him, and that triggered him. What the hell? And that was the motivator that basically made him, from my point of view, make that move and decide to tell Fox everything and release all that information. Just the fact that they told him your girlfriend is not cheating on you, that was the trigger for me.
Yeah, the motivators are weird, right?
Yeah, and the reason why Assange is alive, from my point of view, is because of the information he hasn't leaked yet. That's the reason why he's not dead.
Really?
Well, no, my point was that if he ever goes to prison, is what I'm saying, then, I don't think they will get capital punishment, is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
No,
That's treason. That's treason. That's punishable by death, basically. I don't know if the United States got their hands on him, what they would do. It wouldn't be pretty, though.
Assange?
No, I'm talking about Snowden. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know about Assange, if that's a different type of crime. He was kind of...
Yeah, I think they're two very different cases, aren't they, for sure? And there's something about Assange that makes me slightly uncomfortable. I don't know what it is. It's just an instinctive.
Well, you know what?
Instinctive.
You know what? If you read Snowden's book, you'll feel uncomfortable about him too. He's very much a braggart, but that's a lot of hackers like to brag, right? So he's kind of this ethical hacker, a white hat type guy, but he's very much into his ego, and he talks a lot.
Really?
He talks a lot about himself. Like I said, to me,
see, that surprises me, because out of the two of them, I've always felt that Snowden had less of that type of personality.
Well, I mean,
really,
yeah,
I have not read his book.
Yeah, you could read his book. I'm just saying, to me, he came across as a guy who was really full of himself, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying
Well, no, it is. I think personality does very much play into these situations, because I think it does affect how people do things, and there is like what you were saying. How does it sit? What side of the fence does it sit on?
Right.
And I think somebody's personality is integral to that, actually.
Right.
Personally.
And that's why I was always looking, as I read the book, I was kind of side-eyeing him, like, okay, there's something going on with this guy. Like, what's going on here? Is there another angle? Is there an incentive for him to do this? Other than don't think about him as like some corn-fed guy from the Midwest who went to the Presbyterian church and, never did any mistakes and it was valedictorian and stuff. That ain't this guy. I mean, he's not I don't know if he's a bad guy, good guy, whatever, but I'm just saying that's not his story. He's a rock star type of guy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I might agree with you in, partially. And talking about Assange, would it make any difference on the concept we might have about him if it wasn't all this rape thing behind him.
Oh, do you know what? I had forgotten about that. That hadn't even popped into my head
Okay,
in this conversation. So
but basically, it wouldn't make any difference on questioning if he's good for society or not.
No,
that's an interesting one. I don't know about that does change things actually. Really, it's certainly from the general perception.
well, that's the whole thing, right? Is that there's two things. It's like, okay, well, what did he do, and what is the net effect? And then it's like, well, what is the public perception, right? If the government's embarrassed or whatever, they're going to try to vilify the guy to, poison public opinion against him, even though it might have been the right thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Sure.
That's a strategy. That's what they did with me. I live that in a much minor scale, but that's a strategy. I mean, you go against the government, they try to destroy you. They try to paint you as the worst of the worst, and they have the tools to do it. So, who knows if it is real what his accusations of rape are real or not? I don't know.
No, and do you know what? I guess none of us ever will, really, unless we're, in a situation like this where you get to have that conversation.
Only he and the woman knows. Those are the two persons.
Exactly. So, it's always difficult, isn't it, with situations like that when you can't ever have a definitive truth.
You will never know we will never know the truth of anything, because everything everything is so complex, has so many elements involved. The world is so complex that the truth will always be partial. There will always be a part that is missing that might make a difference.
I think they'll come out with some technology soon that will, tell the world whether you're telling the truth or not. So maybe
okay. I regret what I said. Alexa knows everything. Okay, Google knows everything. Siri knows everything. They just don't tell me everything because. Let me ask this question. Hold on a second. Siri, when will I die?
I'm afraid I don't have the answer to that.
She's lying. She has the answer for that. I'm sure all the algorithms or artificial intelligence of Google, Apple, they do know the date of my death pretty accurately. I mean,
yes, I think you're probably right.
But they just won't tell me, Alex.
Because can you imagine if people? At least they are sensible with some elements of technology. Because if they were telling people when they were going to die, what kind of carnage would that cause?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's right. And how much do we? You should consider the impact on information. Information is power to.
Yeah, well, they must have to consider things like that, because they must, like you say, they must know. There's so much they know. They must know these things.
Yes, I'm convinced that they do know based on my behavior, based on all the information they have grabbed from me from years and years and years of me feeding them with information. They should have model and have a prediction of my potential date of death with a percentage of accuracy very high.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'll throw a small spanner into the works, because perhaps with my situation, this was quite an interesting thing that happened once when I read about the personality test that became big on Facebook years and years ago, that was created by Cambridge University in the UK, and the guy who created it like 20 years ago or whatever, he's quite well known in the community, and his personality test that he created all those years ago has gone on to be one of the it's used by insurance companies and things, to evaluate and analyze potential people they're going to insure or whatever, you know, like from a consumer end. Anyway, so I came across this one day and I thought, oh, like you, I do try to expose myself. Not in a that's a terrible sentence, isn't it? Expose myself. Anyway, so I thought, I'm going to do this quiz. It'd be interesting because I know that my Twitter account is continuously does not portray the person that I am. I only have to look in my data collection from Twitter and various things, and there's all these things that just aren't associated with me, like football, for example. I hate football. I've never watched football in my life, yet I'm always got my data interests in football clubs and various things. But anyway, so I did this test, and apparently it's got like some 90% accuracy to be able to predict, you know, your basic information based on your social media posts, either on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. But when my report came out, it said I was male, I was 28, and the tweets were considerably less than were on my account that it actually said that it analysed. So basically, whoever is behind what's going on with me, I believe it was the profile of that person. Because am I making any sense? I'm not sure. It's really hard to explain.
Yeah, it's complicated, but I kind of get the idea. So
I feel like my Twitter account, even though I set it up, because I seem to set it up, you know, on a compromised IP and router and device, somehow it's, you know, fucked up. And I share, this person can log into my account, I think, or uses my account as well as me somehow. I don't know. It's weird. This bit is weird. I can't get my head around it. All I know is that the data that's generated from my Twitter account does not correspond to me or my usage. So it's somebody else's. So when I logged into this thing, because you log in with your Twitter credentials, and then it just basically analyzes your tweets and then gives you this analysis report, which is supposedly about your personality and you as a person, which is supposed to be 90% or 95% accurate, and is used in many businesses in this day and age. But yet the report said I was male, I was 28, and all these, and it gave this personality projection thing, which didn't really, it wasn't me at all. You can't really count that, but just the basic generic information was so completely wrong. It's just a really weird sense. I'm not making sense, am I? I don't know how to explain it to people. Sorry.
No, that's very interesting. I mean, I have used applications that gather my information from Twitter in order to give me information about other kind of information. And yes, I don't
but
know.
Obviously, I'm female. I'm 46. I'm not male. I'm not 20. You know, for an algorithm that is so proven today and so widely used, it makes no sense, does it? That information would come back if that's my account that I'm logging in with.
Yeah, that makes no sense. That makes no sense at all.
It's some of these weird things that obviously are really difficult. They're really hard to explain at the best of times. You know what I mean? It's like, but there are things like that I don't have any answers to, which frustrate me.
Don't be frustrated. Just understand that you will never know everything. You will never have the answers to everything. There are things that you will never know. So frustration is just useless. It's something that you have to assume. I am talking like I should talk to myself like that. I mean, fuck. Why don't I say those things to me? No,
I know what you're saying. I know it, but the point was, I can't remember what you were saying now that made me say that. But about the amount of date. No, I don't know. What were you saying?
I was basically
so
asking Siri when will I die, and that
Oh, that's
trigger
right. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. So if I ask Siri when will I die, and if she was to give an answer, I know she's not, but she'd probably give me the wrong answer, wouldn't she?
No, she will just neither confirm or deny anything.
No, I know. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if they did if they did predict that information, mine would not be true.
Well,
Hypothetically speaking.
Yes, the thing is that I ask myself this question: if they tell me that would that information may change that? I mean, would me knowing that they would change the fact that I will die that date? That's a nice question. I mean, knowing the date that I would die would change the date that I will die. I mean, it's like Back to the Future. Knowing, I mean, okay, you give me this information that changes everything. That variable is changing everything in the equation.
Yes, well, it's all just fucked up, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Felipe Pires, bem-vindo, obrigado. He's from Brazil. He's a security researcher. I didn't see him in Spaces ever, so welcome. But I am sure that Siri knows the date of my death, and I don't want to know it.
No, I don't think anybody does, really. I can't imagine I can't imagine the worst bit of information, really.
Yeah, but imagine you would that would change your life, and
you'd do everything to avoid that, then, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
so
and actually, would you be able to avoid it? I mean, would you change the information in the system that would recalculate I mean,
you know what? I don't know, but I reckon that it won't be long before somebody hacks that information out of Google or Siri or whoever or whatever.
That would be the big hack.
Yes, I'm sure, but I'm sure it's on somebody's agenda.
Wow, now we are talking about conspiracies. I like that.
Well, not really, because it's just what hasn't been hacked. If you've everybody, NASA and
I raise my hand. I have been hacked. I am Berto. I work in cybersecurity, and I have been hacked.
Yeah, I am Samantha Borrego. I am just a measly consumer, and I have been hacked.
Okay, Chirag, your turn. Oh, he hasn't been hacked, or he's in the bathroom.
I'm proud to say that I hacked the dinner.
You hacked the dinner.
I am, I'm proud to say that I still haven't hacked anyone, but I've been a victim of hackers.
Been hacked?
No. I said that I have been hacked. I mean, I admitted that I have been hacked. I have no problem to admit that. I mean, I actually encourage people to try to hack me so I can see what problems I have in security. So I encourage people to hack me, and whenever they succeed, I post that in Twitter, and I probably say thanks to the person and congratulate the person, because I have no problems. I mean, I'm a human being and I'm completely hackable, and everybody is.
But that, like we were saying earlier with sleep, that by making the statement, you can't, this is unhackable or whatever, you open yourself up to obviously be a target, because that winds people in the community up. But it's the same. What I'm saying is, if that information is in Google or is in Microsoft or whoever's, I would think it'd be Google if it was anybody collecting that information and knows when you're going to die, when I'm going to die, and when anyone else here is going to die, then somebody's going to get to that information at some point, because it becomes desirable because it's hidden, isn't it? And it's like, what else is there to do? If we've hacked NASA, we've hacked the governments, we've hacked this, there's always got to be another a bigger and better target, hasn't it? Because it's competitive.
Yes, I agree with you. I cannot disagree with you.
So I don't believe that's a conspiracy
No, I was kidding.
kingdom.
I don't believe in.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe in
Sorry. I'm just
conspiracy.
saying that.
Except that the universe is conspiring against me. That I believe in.
Sure. Sorry, I just thought that I don't, I just didn't think it was a conspiracy. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I like to think that,
You like to think that what you see is what you get. No, you don't.
Okay.
Hey, Alberto and everyone. I have to go to my daughter's tennis class, but it was nice talking to all of you.
Okay, it was a pleasure talking to you, Chirag. Take care.
Likewise.
And talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye, bye, Samantha. Bye, Thomas. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
And you know what? Sairi had already told me that Chirag was going to leave at 7:57 my time. Just kidding.
If only, eh? No, we don't want. No, that's too much. Anyway, what time is your talk?
In an hour.
In an hour.
Yeah, Thomas, can you confirm that? Because I'm lost. I have been here for 4 hours talking about security. Okay, thank you. Because I will set a reminder in case I fall asleep.
Yes, well, you might need a rest.
No, I have to eat. I have to eat.
Yes, well, exactly. Okay, eat, rest, go for a bathroom break. I don't know.
I sent it to the space.
Sorry? Thomas?
I sent the reminder to the space.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You miss the part where a guy was here, a hacker that was talking for a while and then he vanished. I don't know if he was killed by another hackers or what happened to him. That was funny. Okay, I am. If you want to keep talking, I will put you as co-host. I am leaving, and I would like to know much more about. I will watch the video of the DEF CON regarding the issue that you are experiencing.
Oh, that's just one part. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? We could be, literally, as I'm sure you could, we could spend probably a week talking, and we still wouldn't sort of cover all the aspects of it. But it's just quite nice just to have these chat rather than feeling under pressure specifically of correlating a story. I just having little things come out in conversation is quite nice. But I don't know how you feel about that, but
okay. We will keep in touch, and I am really glad that I opened the message this morning.
Yes,
while waiting.
I'm really glad too. I might come back later to your thing, your next one. If I fall asleep.
In an hour, if I'm not dead asleep, I mean, maybe Sairi says, okay, Alberto, you have 1 hour left of your life. Go and hack the world. Not have sex. Hack the world, because hacking is better than sex.
Yes.
So you can hack everything in 1 hour because you will die.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. But no, I know whatever space you've got, and then I'll just catch up with you.
Okay.
If I don't, is that okay?
Yes, of course. I mean, freedom. You're free to do whatever you want to do, and don't ask me if that's okay. Don't ask me if that's okay. That's great.
No. That's cool. That's cool. Sorry, I'm just getting really tired now and getting a bit delirious. Do you know what I mean? It's just so. But then I know what I'm like. My brain will probably go, "You're not going to sleep," so I might just. You
basically have had more interaction with people that in the past 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, cool guys. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right.
Thank to you, and Thomas. I will see you in an hour. I will go get something to eat, and
How do I find you, by the way? So how do I find that if I want to get on it?
I will find you. Don't worry.
The pinned tweet is there. You don't just click listen to the space or start listening.
Okay.
It,
All right. I'll
the
figure it
that
out. Sure. All right.
the reminder
Well, I think
tweet
you're
is pinned to the space.
okay. Cool.
If
Thank you.
if you don't worry, we will find you. The Matrix
Okay.
will find you. The Matrix
Okay.
has
Cool.
you.
Okay.
Bye
Ciao
bye.
for now. Bye. 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 Bye.